We got the ultimate send-off to Source Filmmaker, possibly for now, and then the Cosmic Battle of the Birds. That and not more, what am I saying? On today's episode of BrobusCast, Death Battle Edition. That was the most fumbled intro I think I've ever done, but I'm going to keep it anyway, because, yeah.
Yay!
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of BrobusCast. I am your host, Brobuscus. With me today is ZDogg. And Richard.
Evil beware, we have waffles.
And we don't have a guest this time.
You'll understand that reference when you watch Teen Titans.
Yeah.
I'm more of a pancake guy.
There you
You blasphemy.
Zoom.
That's some blasphemy right there.
I just stand on this hill. But maybe that's. But this isn't a food-based podcast. I don't even know how that will work.
No, and that's why we're not doing them.
Exactly, this is a death battle podcast, in fact. So,
yeah, in fact, we actually have. In fact, I know this might come as a surprise. I need everybody to just chill out for a second. But we have a new episode out.
What? No way. I don't
Yes way.
I simply just don't believe you.
Well, I guess that's your problem. Because we have, we're gonna have quite the conversation on this one. I can already imagine it.
Oh yeah.
We got ourselves Darth Vader versus Obito Uchiha, aka I think the biggest upset on this podcast. Whoops.
I would say the biggest upset in this season overall.
Yeah.
Cause
guess what? We were all wrong.
yeah, cause
Unless
whoops.
Cole versus Alex takes that spot.
Somehow.
Somehow,
we'll see,
yeah.
I guess, but-
Yeah.
Obito ended up victorious, and guess who we didn't go for?
Guess who this podcast unanimously did not say would win. Oops.
Guess who has two thumbs and is vindicated that a Naruto character gets a W. This guy.
Yeah, well. To be fair, I was a little I was a little on the fence with Vader winning, but I did legit think he could win, and I still think he could based on this episode's research. But yeah, I just didn't take some things into account.
I was wanting Obito to win, but I think I just tapped out and just ultimately decided to go for Vader because I had a feeling the Star Wars bullshit would be enough for him to win. But apparently, no, that's not the case. Kind of, yeah. Because
It's interesting.
Right. This was the most up in the air fucking debate ever.
Oh, it so was.
It literally felt like a coin toss.
Yep.
Yeah, I was in some conversations on the Discord server, and Speedy was there too. And by the way, just as a heads up, you're probably going to hear that name a lot in this episode.
Shout out to Speedy.
Yeah, shout out to Speedy. Basically, what he said kind of lines up with the verdict, but it was basically like both of them were roughly even in terms of power and speed, and they both had some solid win conditions. It's just that Obito had more. So it's not even so much of which one was more likely? No, Obito had more. Like, they were both equally likely. It's just Obito had more. And
I have seen a lot of people like this is very ironic considering this is the Naruto community I'm talking about, but surprisingly, a good chunk of the Naruto community actually did not like the verdict for this, and we're all pulling collectively for Vader to win. So it kind of just feels like, okay, so you're upset. Just let me see if I get this right. You're upset when Naruto has had more losses than wins. We get another Naruto win, and you're upset about it.
I don't.
Like, I get it. I think I get it because some have said Obito is not their favorite. People do not like Obito as a character. So I can understand it from that.
Well, also, I mean, it's. I mean, we said this last episode. It's Darth freaking Vader.
Vader.
No, it is Darth fucking Vader. So I guess even the fucking Naruto community is like, well, no, fuck no, it's fucking Darth Vader. What the fuck are you? What's wrong with you? I mean, maybe if it was Madara or somebody else that they would have cared for, maybe. But it's again, yeah, no. I guess Obito didn't have a lot of fans going into this fight.
Yeah. Well.
The confusion of certain circles of any community will never cease to confuse me.
Yep.
Yeah, no, straight up. I mean, again, look, I get it. I get it. I've been in the. There are characters that I don't like that have lost to characters that I like. And vice versa. So it happens, but it baffles me that it's coming from the Naruto community. Because
that's
again,
weird.
it's like it is like I expect this crap from the Dragon Ball community because they really are. They're the ficklest of fickle.
The Dragon Ball community just can't accept losses, ever.
No,
even if they're most like the obvious things ever, like.
They can't even accept wins either, so, as indicated by the season finale of last season. But again, the Naruto community, they're always pushing for Naruto W's in Death Battle. So again, here you go. Here's another one. Oh, but boo-hoo! It's not the character we wanted to win. It's like
they didn't.
Okay, well, you guys are just impossible.
I imagine it's one of those things where it's like they didn't win hard enough, and I'm like.
Okay, but they still won though.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Doesn't matter.
So on. Like, I don't. Heck, your character had to like fight to win. Boo hoo! They still won. Come on.
Yeah. No, I mean,
I don't get that.
Like, okay, look, again, I will concede to the fact that they didn't present the argument enough on why the character won. But even then, again, I feel like they still did a good job of like this was as close as Vader. This was as close as Vader was ever going to get to reaching a W than fucking Doctor Doom.
I mean, yeah.
At least he did something here.
Yeah. And it's actually interesting you brought that up because that kind of leads into like probably my biggest qualm with this episode, just as a whole. And I mentioned this on Twitter. You said that they didn't present the arguments for their winner clear enough, and that's kind of where I'm at. Now, just to be clear, I'm not saying Vader should have won. That's not what I'm trying to say here. Like, I understand the gist of it at the very least. Like I said, it's basically like once I saw they were relatively even in power and speed, I was like, all right, Obito's probably gonna win, isn't he? Like the amount of win conditions this guy has is ridiculous. But it's just that I understand it more as the episodes as like time has gone on. You know, I mean, when I first watched the episode, I was very adamant that like I was going for Vader before watching the episode, and like I had all these like arguments in my head, and when they weren't addressed in the verdict, I was confused. Well, maybe not confused. I understood it, but I wasn't satisfied enough. You know?
You had reservations.
Yeah, I had reservations. I should probably, just for the sake of it, I'm gonna pull up the episode on the Death Battle Wiki just so I can read it off the transcript.
Yeah, because my main thing that I actually think they should have hammered home, just if we're getting the flaws out of the way, with how they presented the argument, I think they needed to lean more heavily into the main recap from having to come out of the mouths of Wiz or Boomstick is Vader's fucking mental state and how he would ultimately be taken over by the dream reality illusion that Obito projected. Because they did say in the Black Bar that while Vader has been able to resist mental attacks, he has to be conscious. It isn't just something that he can do automatically, and he has given into the temptations of dream scenarios, so he would fall a victim to Obito's technique.
Yeah, I'll get back to that when we talk about the fight.
Yeah.
Basically, I mean, on that topic, just real quick, the overall results were decided with the basic idea that both of their mental attacks wouldn't really amount to much. Like both could resist each other's mental attacks. So like that's whatever. That's not my problem. It was a problem for me when I watched the episode for the first time, but that's also because I'm biased as hell. So that is entirely a me thing. Okay, I have the page pulled up. So I want to start with Kamui because I feel like this has kind of gotten a bit of a misconception. They mentioned that Kamui makes Obito difficult to hit, and that's true for his base form. And they do have a black box on this. I missed it when I watched the episode for the first time, but when he's in his Ten Tails form that has a Jinchuriki, he does not possess that ability anymore. Because
so he's easy to hit.
Yeah, because I think what it is, if I'm getting my details right, is that Kamui's intangibility thing is a ninjutsu technique, and the Ten Tails form specifically shuts off ninjutsu. I think that's how that works. Either way, it doesn't matter. But it's like, okay, so cool. So they brought that up. But what I think they could have done to make this point feel more like, I don't know where I'm going with this. Basically, I think they should have made a comparison between Vader and base form Obito. Because the main argument for both sides, like both Vader, both Team Vader and Team Obito agreed that without the Jinchuriki form, Obito gets kind of overwhelmed. Like all those like big numbers they brought up for Obito are in his Jinchuriki form, not in his base form. In his base form, as far as I know, I think speed might still be pretty even, but power-wise, Vader clears Obito. So honestly, I kind of viewed the intangibility thing as kind of a non-factor because, like, in his base form, Obito's not going to do anything to Vader. He's too weak. Well, I guess that's mean. I should probably rephrase. Vader's too strong. I should probably rephrase that. But then it's like Obito keeps up in his Ten Tails form, where he loses the intangibility. So it's like, I don't know why they... Because everybody keeps thinking, like, oh yeah, like, Obito will just phase through everything Vader throws at him. That's true in his base form, where he's not going to do anything to Vader. So, that's a bit of a misconception I saw, both during the waiting period for this fight and afterwards. So... Just wanted to comment on that. What else was there? I wanted. the truth-seeking orbs. Actually, you know what?
Yeah.
Actually, okay. Backpedal a little bit. I did not know that the Ten Tails form, that the Ten Tails grants Obito an unlimited supply of chakra. That was new. I will concede to that.
Yeah.
So, you know, everyone commented on, like, chakra is limited, the Force isn't, kind of. At least it's not a... The Force isn't it's an unlimited supply. Like, Vader's not going to tire out against Obito, basically. But,
No.
But...
Especially if he keeps getting more angry, because the dark side
Yeah.
also is an extra car battery on top of the existing one he already has.
Yeah. So I saw that argument that, like, yeah, like, chakra is a limited supply of energy, unlike the Force, so Vader, like, has more stamina. But then the Ten Tails form, or I guess it's just the Ten Tails in general, grants Obito an unlimited supply. I didn't know that, so alright, fair enough. But okay, the truth-seeking orbs. Okay, both the truth-seeking orbs and the Kamui thing. Okay, actually, forget the Kamui thing, because I mentioned that I didn't think the Kamui would work because Vader was too fast. Turns out they're even in speed. Alright, fair enough. But the truth-seeking orbs I take issue with. Because, okay, I do agree that that if Vader were to get hit by a truth-seeking orb, that's bad news. But where I think they could have helped with this argument is mention that, like, because they mentioned it in Vader's analysis, they mentioned the Force barriers.
Yes, and I even referenced this in our prediction podcast for this fight, that Vader's Force barriers are stupidly ridiculous, hard to penetrate.
Yeah. So there was always that argument that, you know, Vader could put up a barrier and block the truth-seeking orbs. Why they didn't bring this up in the verdict, I have no idea.
Yeah, there was even the argument, because I even saw somebody say, one of my buddies, when we did a reaction to this, he even brought up, they deliberately said that they were in the black box, that they were comparing, they were specifically comparing Vader to Luke, specifically Disney canon Luke. And
Yeah.
if that was the case, and they were using Disney canon Vader and not Legends Vader, then, and why didn't Vader just block one of the truth-seeking orbs in a Kylo Ren style?
Yeah.
I
And honestly,
honestly would have liked for them to explain that too. It's like, well, wait a minute, couldn't Vader just block them with the Force?
yeah. And they could still do that and still get the point across. It's just Obito. Like, it basically, the entire crux of the argument is that the number of Obito's win conditions are more than Vader's. So Obito would just overwhelm Vader. They could still get that point across. They could still get that point across and still mention that, like, yeah, like if they just said, like, yeah, Vader could block them with Force barriers, but it's still a valid win condition that adds to Obito's other ones that could overwhelm Vader. If they had just said that, that's 99% of my problems with this verdict right out the gate.
Yeah, exactly.
The other one, and in case anyone's wondering what the other 1% is, it's that Vader lost and I'm biased as hell. So,
There you go.
that's my 1%.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's one of those verdicts where it's like, what we have is fine. It convinces me enough.
Can I add one more? There is one more, and I've seen a lot of people, even Star Wars fans, be a little dubious on this. Is Vader being sucked up in the Kamui dimension and not being able to tap into the Force? I've seen some people take issue with this because, again, and they even mention this in the black box, that most likely if Vader was plucked outside of his universe and he was in the Kamui dimension, he wouldn't be able to access the Force or the dark side. I honestly don't know where I stand on this, but a lot of people said that isn't real. That's not true. and Vader could still access the Force and the dark side inside. So, but I really wish they would have gone a little bit more. They should have really emphasized this and really gone into more detail. Like, okay, what proof is there that Vader would not be able to access the Force and the dark side in the Kamui dimension if he was sucked up?
I mean, the main point of the main argument for Kamui was just he'd have no way out. It's solid. It's a solid BFR. And I don't really have, as far as like with what I know, I have no issue with that as a win condition. But I do agree that
that's fine.
I do agree that I think going into more detail on the Force in that dimension would have been nice, but it's just I kind of viewed that as kind of a non-factor anyway. Because like Vader gets sucked into the Kamui dimension, he loses because he can't get out. Like, what's he gonna do? Like he's not dead, but he can't fight anymore.
He's not gonna be doing much in there.
Yeah.
No, he's not. And also that's an interesting loophole with Death Battle. Because chances are they're gonna the losers are gonna die. That's just the whole point. But I also just want to note that I know that was probably just meant to be a one-off joke comment from Boomstick. I don't necessarily agree that Vader would starve to death in the Kamui dimension because his internals are mostly mechanical. He doesn't have that much living tissue anyway. So if anything, he would just be trapped there. Yeah, maybe he wouldn't be able to feed off any hate, but that doesn't matter. He'd still be trapped there. He wouldn't die. He would just, stay there. Whether he's in his perfect dream world or he's just roaming around endlessly, maybe pulling from his own existing hate. I don't know. But again, I took a little issue with that little joke. It's like, Vader doesn't starve. He doesn't really starve. He can eat. How
does the man eat?
Through a straw. Through a straw, mostly.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, through a straw. Again, his internal organs are literally might as well be fucking liquid.
Now I have that funny mental image in my head. Thanks, Richard.
You're welcome. That's not even a joke. Literally, he did have to eat his food through a fucking straw.
Oh
wow.
Yeah. Yeah. It is. It's fucked. Damn you, Obi-Wan. Again, I do like. I agree with Brobuscus. I do. I think one or two of these things I've got no problem with, but I think they just needed more seasoning before I could accept them. Because even I was having a little trouble, but I did agree with most of the points they brought up. Like, unlike Obito, Vader can't regrow limbs no matter how
that's true.
in tune with the dark side he is. It's like, that's true. He can't. So it wouldn't be a stretch to say that, if you just remove all Vader's limbs, he's basically just a paraplegic. He can't do anything.
Pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Man, my preferred characters are sucking it up this season.
Yeah.
No.
I'm doing so bad.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it happens. Welcome to my life.
It's like I have Ant-Man, and that's literally it.
I have. I actually have no. Yeah, no, I'm on the same way because my preferred character lost. All of my preferred characters have lost this season.
I think I'm half and half on mine, so I'll take it.
Yeah.
Actually, no. I think Kilo and Vader are the only ones I have losses. So in that case, preferred character-wise, anyway.
Yeah, no, but again, my main thing with their end analysis really was just I wish they would have gone into more detail on Obito's attack, having the ability to not only create realistic dreams, but pretty much universes that are not just, fancy dance. They're not just regular ass illusions. They're literally realities. And it's very hard to get out of them unless you're a fucking Naruto character and you find a way to get out of them. So I really do kind of wish they would have just hammered that home that, Vader's mental attack, Vader could fight against mental attacks. He had to have been conscious, and he would have actually had to put in the effort to do it. But if you literally throw Padme in there, then he will give in to his inner temptations.
Yeah.
So again, I feel like that was a waste, and why they relegated it to the black bar is very perplexing to me, because again, that's another huge win condition for Obito. Because even if you are iffy on the other win conditions, the fact of the matter is Vader will give it in. He's not any different. If you pluck him and if you put him in a dreamlike scenario where he's Anakin again, he has Padme, he has his kids, he has his good looks, he will not be able to get out of it. Yeah, he looks like Hayden Christensen. Hey, I like.
I'm nothing against him.
Yeah, no. Dude is. He's a great actor. But yeah, no. So I kind of do wish that they should have put more emphasis on that, because again, that's a huge crux of your argument, and I really do feel like that is what really, at least what the animation presented, that was the main thing that gave Obito the win.
I just think for me, the best recaps are the ones that answer any questions that the loser defenders may have.
No.
And regardless of how much the verdict may overall convince you, for me, if they still leave questions unanswered, regardless of if I end up agreeing in the end, then it's kind of lacking. Like, I want to be I don't want to just be convinced. I want to be convinced, if that makes sense.
No, exactly. I want to know. I do agree. I kind of feel like in terms of an end cap analysis, I feel like this really is the weakest. I don't want to say it's the worst, but it is the weakest I have seen, because it doesn't convince me enough. It convinced me enough with some small points here and there, but I legitimately was not fully on board with it. Because again, I was wanting Obito to win, but I wanted no stone left unturned. Because if you just leave the slightest little implication that maybe given these different circumstances, Vader could win, is like, whoa, what the hell? You're supposed to be convincing me that Vader loses like 9 times or 10 times out of 10. You can't give me that extra 1% of hope that maybe he can, because again, the stats were pretty much the hacks in Obito's favor. I feel like those were his main reasonings as why he would win in a majority of the time. Granted, they did bring up that, Vader could just crush Obito's body, but he can heal himself because he's got busted regeneration. So what does that do? Again, I just feel like maybe I guess what I'm trying to say is, I guess in terms of overall better end analysis and recaps, I still feel like Dragonborn versus Skyrim literally danced miles around this one, because it left no stone unturned. It did.
Well, that's Liam for you.
I know. Which, by the way, you're gonna hear me.
Liam doesn't leave anything to chance, especially when he's directing.
Exactly, and I'm gonna be repeating that again. No. Those are my flaws too. It really does.
Really, to wrap this part up, because again, like I said, this is really my biggest gripe with the episode. Which honestly means, if this is my biggest gripe, then we got some good stuff to talk about. But I digress. My main thing is, as someone who was Team Vader, I concede to being wrong, but I'm not. All of my questions are not answered, and I wish they were.
Agreed.
Which, to be fair, there's like I said, and like I keep saying, it does feel like this is one that can go back and forth, like verdict-wise, like depending on who you ask. So I mean, obviously, I don't think it was gonna satisfy everyone, but I do agree. Like, yeah, I do think some points in the conclusion could have been added upon, or certain things could have been said, like in general. But like, I can't agree with Obito winning, but I could have been sold more. I definitely agree.
Yeah. I kind of feel like had they used Legends Vader, I think that maybe
they
this
did.
would have been
They mentioned the freaking. They mentioned the freaking Ewoks thing. Okay, well I guess we're talking. Well, I guess we're talking about the analysis now.
I'm saying, that's a good segue. No, what I'm saying is, had they used Vader's Legends material, like everything from his Legends run, his comics, his novels, his games, just all that, I feel like maybe this would have been even more interesting, because Legends Vader is even crazier, but somehow the Disney canon made him slightly more powerful. Just slightly.
Well, anyways, analysis. These analyses are pretty cool, huh?
Yes, they did the thing I wanted them to do. They redeemed Anakin's analysis. Thank you, guys.
Hell yeah!
There we go.
Dude, I'm so glad that there was basically like no jabs at the prequels in this, which I greatly appreciate.
They did. They took it seriously, and they told a good story on the rise and fall of Anakin Skywalker, and it was very good to see. Again, I will never tire of seeing just Anakin Skywalker, because he is one of my favorite characters in the prequel era, and I love that we got to see more of him and his story told. And I also love how they didn't, unlike last time, they didn't really get to the power scaling until he became Vader. It was all about just telling the story first and then getting to the power.
Which is a good touch, because they also did that with Obito, and I do appreciate that. Going in depth to these two before they became the evil second in command, basically.
Exactly.
Also they used the dead men scan that I talked praise about in the last episode.
Yeah.
You love to see it.
Yes, you do. Which also, the editing in conjunction to the analysis, editing popped, like all the frames.
It's good.
Manga panels, all the comic panels.
I love the one of Sakura pointing at the scroll, like, look at there it is.
That was good.
I love it.
I really did love learning about Obito, and I will never turn down the opportunity to know more about Naruto characters.
Sure.
To get a good sense of their character and their power set. So
the more we keep getting,
very good.
The more we keep getting Naruto episodes like this, the more I'm getting convinced to actually watch it.
Well, I would stop. I would stop, preferably after the original series, unless you want to be a glutton for punishment and watch Shippuden and then Boruto. Would recommend it.
I'm probably not gonna watch Boruto. I'm not that crazy.
But yeah, no.
I say that as someone who watched Thor: Love and Thunder and liked it. So, where the line is drawn, I have no idea. But it's it. But I'm probably not going to watch Boruto.
Fair enough. I mean, to bring up what you already just said, I did love that they for a Legends reference, they reached far back and went to the damn Ewok series.
I was like, oh, okay.
Gosh.
Which to remind everybody that really isn't a joke. The Ewoks and R2D2 and C3PO both had their own shows.
Yeah.
And they were both animated.
All right.
Also, fun fact, in case anyone's wondering, that Chiral chick that they brought up, she's a total jobber. Like, like pretty much every important character scales to her. So,
yeah.
Which brings up, I know we're gonna get this question. I know that there's someone out there is wondering, does Obi-Wan still beat Kakashi? And I'm just gonna put my 2 cents in. The answer is yes. Kakashi would win with the double Mangekyo Sharingan, but that's like super not standard. So
I personally don't believe Obi-Wan still wins. I'm sorry. Like, ever since I had this debate with the Naruto fan, they legitimately changed my line of thinking. And it did make me go back and see they really highballed Obi-Wan to heaven and hell. So, but I do think it would be more even than they let on. But that being said, again, I like to believe that it would still be kind of cool if we did get it nowadays. Because, again, it'd just be cool. I'm not saying it wasn't bad when we got it back then. It's just...
No, it was still a really good episode.
Yeah, so very good.
Yeah, I would just like to see them take another jab at it. But that's it. There are no other opponents for Kakashi or Obi-Wan, so that's a one and done. So
no.
But
I will say I do love near the end of Vader's analysis when they were talking, like, after the Ewoks thing. Like, I love the line delivery on Boomstick's, like, oh, here's a planet blowing up while Vader was on it, and he's fine. Just a normal Tuesday for good old Darth Vader. I just found that funny.
Agreed.
But yeah, I mean, just overall, I just think, because this was, what's his name? Kian?
His
first time writing? Kian, my bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
AKA Jangor, AKA Grand Blazer, all, you know him.
Yeah. Overall, I think he did a damn good job with the analyses, like, second one.
Yeah, for first time out, yeah, it's good.
Yeah,
it is. Again, both characters and their stories were taken seriously, and that's what I wanted first and foremost. I didn't want just power scaling and numbers. I legitimately wanted to have their stories be told in a correct manner, because, again, this fucking prequel hate is fucking redundant, and it's just, there is no need for it.
I don't get it anymore.
You hate the prequels, you hate the prequels. That's on you, but it can't be a meme anymore. It literally cannot just be a fucking meme on how, oh, look at that, prequels were bad, look at this bad CG, look at this bad storytelling, blah, blah, blah. It's like, look,
I will say
we have the sequel. We have the sequel trilogy for that now, okay?
I will say, a couple years ago, I did a Star Wars binge watch of all the movies, and I gotta be honest with you, watching through the prequel trilogy, I don't get the hate. I honestly don't.
I mean, episode 1 and 2 are pretty bad.
I mean, episode 1 is boring, but it's like, whatever. Like,
no, episode 2 was even more boring. Like, the only times I was enthralled, the only times I was entertained was when Obi-Wan and Anakin were on screen. Everything else, it was just, again, George Lucas just didn't know how to write love. I'm sorry, the dude just.
That I'll agree with, yeah.
At least not between Padme and Anakin.
Nope, that's what we have the Clone Wars for.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, don't worry, Genndy Tartakovsky and Dave Filoni will fix it.
And then the fight.
Very good, very good. Oh wait, one more thing before we get to the fight.
Oh, okay.
We got to finish some fur footage. Let's go. Okay, now on to the fight. Go.
Dude, the footage, the footage for this one was great.
Yeah. It just, that in particular made me very happy. Alright, now let's go on to the fight.
Yeah, okay, fight time. So Devil Artemis is back.
Yeah.
Along with David.
This one. Yeah.
Yeah. That's the big send off to Source Filmmaker, at least for now, because after this episode, Devil Artemis is moving on to Blender.
Yeah. It's a good thing.
At least when it comes to Death Battle, he'll still always use Source Filmmaker on his own channel.
Well, yeah.
I mean, obviously.
But yeah, I mean, unless they find another animator who uses Source Filmmaker, which I guess isn't impossible. As of right now, this is it. This is the send off, and boy, what a send off!
And I mean, it's a pretty damn good one, I gotta say.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I don't even really know what I can really say on it. It's just good. Like it's just
it is
so good.
Okay. The big thing I wanted from this, and Speedy even mentioned like this was like the top priority, is they had to make Vader as badass as possible. Because that's kind of his whole point. It's like that's kind of that at least initially that's the reason people loved him so much, is because he just had that presence. Like he got once he got on screen and you heard that breathing, you're just sitting there with goosebumps, just like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
So definitely had to get that point across, and I'd say they pulled it off spectacularly.
Oh yeah.
Agreed.
Oh, yeah.
Especially near at the beginning, like Vader is powering through basically everything Obito throws at him.
Yes.
I just love how nonchalant he is. Like giant fan? Nah. Neil's being thrown at me? Nope. Fire? Bitch, please. Oh, you know what I can bring up? So I was at RTX. I mentioned this before.
Yes.
And they showed an extended preview of this there. So when we got the cast preview and it ends like right as Vader crushes Obito's mask, I'm just sitting there like, wow, they ended it there. Like when what happens right after that is crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. I see that.
So that was fun. For those wondering, the preview for us ended with Vader containing the tailed beast bomb. That's where it ended for us. So yeah, they showed off quite a bit, but fortunately, unlike something like say Lucy versus Carnage, what we got after that was still sufficient enough. It still felt long enough. And I do want a little bit of bragging rights because I said in the Discords, like, I feel like the rest of this fight after the preview from RTX is going to be Obito in his Ten Tails form.
Hey, what do you know?
Hey.
You want to talk about bragging rights? I also would get some bragging points myself. Especially since first of all, I did call that they were going to do the Padme thing.
Oh yeah, you did.
Yes. Yeah, so there we go. I was like, yeah! and now looking back on it, I'm like, Brobuscus, you son of a bitch, you saw that early and deliberately stepped away from me.
Dude, it's my brain was so slow because it took me a hot second. I didn't realize it until Obito. It didn't click with my head until Obito started using Kamui. I heard a lot of people freaking out around me, and I'm just like, why are they freaking out? And then it took me like 2 seconds, and it clicked. I was like, oh wait, I know who that is now. I know who that was under the mask now.
Yeah, there you go. I do. I want to express that. Yeah, no, that opening is like there are so much fucking references. Like Vader coming down on his own TIE
On
fighter.
top of the TIE fighter. It's just like such a boss.
That's from the season 2 finale of Star Wars Rebels. Him, of course, deflecting Obito's punches. That's from fucking the Kenobi series. I could literally go on and on the fucking reference. But I also just, one thing I love, my favorite shot of that first minute is when you do see Obito throw his, I cannot remember what those weapons were called. God, Dana and I was just told. I'm so sorry. But when he was throwing his weapons out of his sleeves and towards Vader just deflecting them like with no effort. I liked how when he deflected them, you could literally see the level of detail. You see the light spark from it, and you see his red lenses bright up. I love that fucking detail. That is a very fucking awesome detail. And again, props to Devil for using the Jedi Fallen Order Vader model. That was awesome. I love that. And yeah, everything, like, also too, that's something else we got to talk about. We got battle damage.
Yeah.
Yes, we did. Holy God, that
dude,
was so cool.
I was not when I was watching the preview at RTX. I was not expecting an exposed metal leg.
Yeah,
yeah, that was very shocking on my first watch. Like, gosh.
Yes.
I was like, oh, okay.
And even Obito gets battle damage himself, because when his mask is broken, not only does his mask get busted, but so does one of his sleeves get torn off. So he's only got one long sleeve left. I love that fucking detail.
Yeah.
That was.
And then, you know, it's like, oh, Vader's about to get sucked up by Kamui. What does he do? Oh, nothing special. Just crushes Obito's eye.
Oh, yes.
Like, my God, like, raw. Just raw.
Just
like,
raw.
All I can just say is, like, master like student.
Yeah.
There we go.
That was so fucking cool. And then also too, this is where I'm going to be comparing this to Dragonborn versus Chosen Undead a lot, but this is where I think this did it better on a scale of, oh my God, shit just got real. When the fucking Ten Tails comes out and you see the scope of it, and Vader's looking down and he's like, impressive, and then it fires a blast. And Vader uses 2 to minus. He uses motherfucking 2 to minus to absorb and try and contain
Dude,
it.
okay. Well, first off, I want to say, like,
Oh my
I
God.
just love the idea of Vader, like, looking at this, like, giant, this giant beast with 10 giant tails, and he's just like, huh, cool.
Which again, Vader has fought kaiju-sized monsters before. He
Yeah.
even jumped into the mouth of a giant-sized kaiju monster once. Which again, it was a Tuesday for Vader.
Yeah. That's the big thing. That's kind of like a really cool theme for both of them in this fight. It's like neither of them are really like caught off guard by their attacks. They're just kind of like, oh, cool, okay. Guess I got to work around that.
I could do that.
Yeah, or that. But no, you were talking about the tailed beast bomb.
Yeah.
So, me and Mate, I mentioned this to ZDogg during a discussion that's gonna go up eventually. But I'll mention it here. So me and Mate met up with Ben and Billy after the panel, and we just kind of like started chatting, like we just had this like very casual conversation with each other. Super cool guys, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Awesome.
And I told Ben, like the preview got brought up, and we were talking about how cool it was. I told Ben, it's like I had a bit of like a mini pop off It's like Vader just like he like you mentioned he was using 2 to minus, but then he's like just contains it down.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay. Like, and I was telling Ben about that, and he was like, yeah, that was something we really wanted to make sure looked good. Well, Mr. Singer, if you're watching this, and chances are you actually might be watching this, I'd say you succeeded. That was a really cool shot.
Yeah.
It was very good. And then again, I also like how we do get Madara's transformation. It is so cool. Again, it's cool to see it in 3D than it is in 2D when we had Madara use his 10-tail beast form. But regardless, that's neither here nor there. And again, I just love how the action even gets more crazy because it's literally a game of Vader trying to get in close, but Obito has to keep his distance.
Yeah.
And also too, yeah, I think my favorite shot of this episode, and I'm not surprised that's probably going to be y'all's favorite shot or everyone's fucking favorite shot, is when after Vader gets his hand cut off with the True Seeking Orb, and he's hit by Obito. Not only does his lightsaber drop, but his helmet comes clean off, and we don't see how the camera pans up, and it shows Vader without his helmet, and his eyes are just glowing yellow, and you can see the red surrounding him. He is pissed, and it's like, oh my god! Again, the fucking. I love that Devil actually got to do this battle damage good, and it looks fucking great. Like Devil and David really fucking nailed it.
Yeah, it's funny. I mentioned last episode that I could have gone with that I could go without seeing Vader's mask getting destroyed. Just like a crack showing his eye would have been enough for me. I want to take that back because that shot was really cool.
Yes, it was such a raw shot too. Like seeing Vader pissed off is just so awesome to see.
Yeah.
But
then they just went ahead and hit us with a surprise emotional ending.
Yes, a mercy killing.
I can't say Darth Vader versus Obito Uchiha getting an emotional ending was on my 2023 bingo card, but I guess here we are.
Here we are.
I will say, seeing Anakin, seeing Padme, that was really cool. The thing about the Infinite Tsukuyomi is that, like, it basically is, like Richard was saying, it's basically a whole reality. So it's basically Obito letting Vader live out the life he should have had. And I also like the idea, because you could make the argument that Vader could just break out of it. You know, that's an argument you can make. But I like the idea of like, he totally could have, but he chose not to.
Yeah.
Because it's like, well, I mean, I know it's an illusion, but she's also right there.
Well, I mean, I do like that subtext though, because again, we don't know, because there's nothing there are no words spoken. It really is just a quiet, somber, emotional moment. So it is interesting to see and ask that question. Does Vader know that that's an illusion, or does he? Because again, does he fully believe that this is real? Because Vader has gone through some trippy shit in his life, but I think that if you just put Padme in, if you just use Padme, he will literally believe it's real, because he is still emotionally attached to her, even though he's moved on. There is still part of Anakin Skywalker that is inside of him, because he can't let Padme or Anakin die. So I do like that. Okay, Brobuscus brought up a good point that I never even considered. I just assumed, because again, that's basically what I was told, is that the infinite stuff, the IT, I'm just going to call it the IT.
Because
pronunciation. the IT basically is not just it's not a Sharingan illusion. It is legitimately a whole new reality. Your dreams become a literal fucking reality. Think of it like WandaVision. It's pretty much like WandaVision with Wanda.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah. Except it's not just a small contained version. It's legitimately the whole fucking thing. But that was very emotional, like, for me to see. And again, obviously, this kicks Doctor Doom versus Darth Vader's ending in the fucking ass.
Dude, forget that. This entire episode, like...
Yeah, no. This episode has redeemed Darth Vader in Death Battle.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It is. It was so fucking sweet. And again, I just do. I love, and I think, again, I don't know what the context is, because again, Vader is just, Anakin's there, and so is Padme, but they're in the Coruscant Hall. And I think that's supposed to be, maybe I'm reading too much into this, but maybe that's supposed
possible.
to be more or less. Maybe that's supposed to be more or less the scene where she told Anakin that she was pregnant. And that
maybe.
Because again, that was that. If you were to, because of all the happy moments Anakin had with Padme, when she told him he was that she was pregnant, that was literally the happiest moments in his life. He was going to be a father. He was scared, excited, but it was a good, happy moment for him. So again, I don't know if that's what that dream reality is supposed to be, but regardless, it was just so sentimental.
Headcanon accepted.
Yeah, exactly. And I do think it's much more emotionally better than the ending of Dragonborn versus Chosen Undead. Because again, it just, and also too, there is, since we're talking about symbolism here, I also love it too, how we start the fight and we see Darth Vader and Madara fighting, but as the fight progresses, and by the end, we see Anakin Skywalker and Obito again.
Yeah.
That is so fucking beautiful and awesome, like, no joke. That is my favorite part of this episode. I'm a sucker for that kind of shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like, it's a case of, like, it's also kind of a case of, like, kindred spirits a little bit.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
And there's an exchange which I think is one of the coolest exchanges in the episode.
Yes.
Talking about, like, you know, both of them have lost their humanity. And they're at that point, they're basically both just trying to put each other out of their misery. Like, they both realize that both of them just kind of hate themselves. So it's like, well, I mean, you're also trying to kill me, so I can't let you do that. But at the same time, I will also help you find peace.
Yes, and again, I do like that. It is essentially, man, it's like Magneto versus Tetsuo turned up to fucking 11 over here.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah. Well, it's funny you mentioned if we're willing to transition a little bit, it is kind of funny that you mentioned Magneto.
Yeah.
Because, hey, you guys remember that really cool Magneto versus Darth Vader DBX a few years back?
Yes.
Well, they got Magneto's voice actor to reprise his role last year. I guess it only makes sense they do the same thing for Vader. So yeah, voice acting. So we got Jason Marnocha, I mentioned, returning as Vader. So we were I guess half right. I guess we were. We'll give us that.
I do want to concede because again, I talked to John Mitchell off screen about this, and I wasn't fully gonna do it, but I was just still bummed out. But it's like, look, I guess I get it. Tom was probably busy, and they probably couldn't get him, or maybe they just really wanted to go with Jason because, again, it would have just been fitting to bring him back.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm a little bummed they didn't get Tom again, and especially since for that Anakin moment, you could have had him use his Anakin voice, because Tom actually does a decent Hayden Christensen impersonation.
I'm surprised we don't I'm surprised we don't hear Jason as not Vader. That's
like just going over to Jason's performance. I loved him as Vader.
He's really good.
I think my favorite line delivery from him was on the path of the dark side. It is.
Yes, that was good.
That's such a good delivery.
It was. I honestly think maybe this is just me, but because this was a full character script and it wasn't just DBX, I think his Vader performance is better here than
it's
it was
better,
in
yeah.
Yeah, because.
And I thought it was pretty good in the DBX. It's not even.
Yeah, no, I didn't have problems with it. I loved it in the DBX.
Yeah, but yeah, no, it's better here, 100%. It's really good. I too am bummed about Tom, but I accept. I will gladly eat this L because I like Jason a lot. He seems pretty cool.
And Jason really did. There were times, and again, the amount of references he's given, which I do like how, unlike, they kind of mix it up. They do the Yoda versus King Mickey approach. See, I got it right this time. Suck it, everybody. For Yoda versus King Mickey, I do like how they give Vader almost his references, his iconic lines, but they also give him some good original dialogue. Like, again, the whole when on the path of the dark side, it is inevitable. I like that. And I do, and he really did a good job.
They did have to throw it in all too easy, though. That was just kind of a given.
Yeah, they did. And they also had to throw in, then you will die, because again, that's a new iconic line of his, the now you will die. He's said it in Rebels, he said it in Kenobi. I do kind of wish he would have gotten he kind of went hard, but I would have liked to hear maybe a even a harder take, if it was possible, on the accept this gift and die. It was a good line, but I don't know, like, I wanted to hear him go even more raw with that, if it was possible. But yeah, no.
I will say I will say I'm a little surprised we don't get a most impressive.
Yeah, no. Well, I mean, see that my theory is here's my theory. Because when he did see the Ten Tails, maybe like I think for the Ten Tails to have gotten a most impressive, it would have had to be even more crazier than Vader. Because again, Vader has seen a lot, and I mean a lot, of fucking crazy giant ass kaiju monsters in his own damn universe. He's fought one of them. One of them, the one that involved him jumping into the mouth of the damn thing, like he's trying to put Yang Xiaolong to fucking shame over there. It was when he was also riding on a horse.
That took me a while to get what you were talking about, but yeah, okay.
I
was like Yang Xiaolong. That's a random comparison. No, I get it now. I get it. That's clever. I like it.
Thank you. One of them, that same kaiju he jumped into the mouth of, he was riding on a fucking black horse with a damn shield when he jumped into the damn thing. So I think maybe had the Ten Tails been even crazier, then maybe he would have said impressive, most impressive. But hey, he at least complimented it. So, but it's like, again, he seemed crazier.
It's true.
Yeah. So.
But then out comes Nicholas Angelui. Coming back. Been a while, my guy.
In a minute, as the kids say these days.
Yeah. To be honest, I really should have guessed as much because I totally forgot that Obito like took on the guise of Madara.
Madara.
Like if I had remembered that, then I'd been like, oh, well, okay, they're probably just gonna get now then.
If only we knew a guy who had voiced Madara in battle. Yeah, I guess that person doesn't exist. No, but
I guess not.
Okay,
no.
Joke. If I had a nickel for every time Nicholas Andrew Louis voices a Naruto villain and ends up getting the W, I have 2 nickels. That's not a lot, but it's just strange it happened twice.
Yeah.
If I had a nickel every time I heard that phrase, I'd be filthy, stinking rich.
There you go. But yeah, no, straight up. Okay, Jason was great. But, but now was better. I'm sorry. Like, now really. Oh my god, now flexed.
I wouldn't say he was better, but he was still really good.
I just mean in terms of his line delivery, like, I really love, again, we open the fight, and he's doing his Madara voice, because, like, Brobuscus said, Obito essentially took on the persona and guise of Madara, but as the fight progresses, he drops it, and he reverts back to Obito. And I love hearing his Obito voice, and I'm trying really hard. I'm like, okay, is that a voice Now has used before? I'm really trying to pinpoint it.
In Death Battle, no.
So, and again, I think my favorite 2 line deliveries from him were this is inevitable.
This is inevitable.
Inevitable. Like, he just went so ham on that line. And then, of course, you are liberated from hell, find peace in the next life. I was like, oh my god. It was great to hear him. He did. He had I could tell he had a great time voicing Obito. And again, it is. But I guess we're only going to bring Now back if a Naruto character is involved.
At this point, I guess.
At this point, so I guess what this means is if Sakura ever does come to Death Battle, I guess Now's going to have to voice her.
All right, so I need
to do a good Sakura.
So I need to hear Nick's Crispin Freeman impression, because if we get Itachi on this show, then there you go.
I know exactly. I also just okay. This is a side thing, but am I the only one who kind of wish they would have had just a random female intern voice actor do the voice
it's funny. It's funny you mentioned that, because they actually brought that up on commentary. Ben. Okay. Ben was wondering, either Ben was wondering or someone asked him, like, do we get, like, some voice actors for Padme? But then he was like, no, it has to be Obito, because that just kind of amps up the creep factor a little bit.
It does. It does, but at the same time, the moment is supposed to be the way we're taking it is the moment is supposed to be emotional, and it's supposed to be Vader now Anakin again, and he's happy, he's found peace. I think that would have been much more better if they had just gotten a voice actress to do the Padme lines. Like, I'm not saying, like, again, like, that maybe just don't show that it's Obito talking, but you can tell by her speech pattern that, okay, that's clearly Obito.
But I think he wanted to speak. But again, I think he knows that. He just chose not to do anything about it.
I guess, but again,
because there is that. Because there is that brief shot of, like, from Vader's perspective, Obito flying up and preparing his sword. So, like, I get the feeling he knows, like, yeah, this isn't like actually real, but I'm gonna savor it because, like, yeah. Also, I mean, I guess he doesn't know this, but, like, the Tsukuyomi would, like, make Anakin live out his life before he dies. Because, like, I know, like, it's how it's worked on other people before. It's like when they die in the illusion, they die in real life.
Yeah.
So like Anakin could just straight up live out the rest of his life in that illusion, and then once he dies, it basically will be when Obito smashes a sword into him.
Yeah, no.
So
Again, that's just a little nitpick. I think it would have gotten more. I think it just would have hit the icing on the cake had they just done that. Like, you don't even have.
I
to
do
get
agree,
someone
though.
who sounds like,
I do agree
Yeah,
that they
you-
probably could have gotten a Padme voice actress,
anybody. It
but
doesn't
like,
even
eh.
it doesn't have to be someone who sounds like Natalie Portman or the fucking actress who played her on Clone Wars. Just fuck, man, hell, get Barbara Dunkelman to just come in and just say these lines, and boom, there you go. Or get Aaron Sack, or just get any of the Ruby cast, or fuck, just get Jocelyn on the phone, and then there you go. Again, that's just me, but yeah, no, voice acting was good. It's probably my favorite of the season so far.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd probably say so.
Now wait a minute, what's that up in the sky? Wait a minute, that's no moon. It's a space station. No, wait, that's just not a moon.
No,
No,
that's just no moon.
That's just no moon.
Transition. Segue.
Insert nickel line about Vader tracks and verses because smash bracket. Haha. Anyway, I'm not gonna do the nickel line.
Anyway,
for
so
you,
the soundtrack is pretty neat, isn't it?
The soundtrack is pretty neat.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty solid.
I like it. I say that I actually like the soundtrack a lot.
It fits with the fight. It's very emotional.
I wasn't expecting it to be
is.
Brandon. Like this is so out of like when I saw the preview, I was like, oh, it's a Therewolf track, 100%. Like it just sounds like it's in Therewolf's wheelhouse. And then I saw the Brandon sponsor. Did we mention that Brandon sponsors episodes now?
Yes.
And they were like, in fact, he composed the track for this very episode. I'm like, wait, what? wait, back up. But because of that, we do get the Uchiha riff. So
Yeah.
there you go. Like people were expecting it because I mean, after Sasuke and Madara, having the same leitmotif, it only makes sense. And sure enough, yeah, it's there. It's a little hard to hear because,
all the shit that's going on.
Yeah, because all that's going on. Also because we've kind of neglected to talk about it. This track isn't out yet. We're recording this the day the preview for the episode after this just aired on BrobusCast, and it is still not out yet.
Well,
Nope.
I obviously I'm not trying to point fingers at anybody, but at the same time, what the hell?
We have not gotten any word on why it's not out.
it's probably just a mistake, like with Teenage Mutant, whatever the fuck from Leo Jason.
Licensing.
Yeah.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
So obviously we can't judge it in full because we haven't listened to it on its own.
No.
But
But I mean, from what we have heard of it, it's pretty good.
Yeah, I like
hits
it.
the right
Right.
moment. I think my favorite bit. There are some Star Wars references in the beginning when Vader and Obito fight. I can hear it. And the end, but the ending is very good. I like how the track ends. It's very somber. It's very, very melancholy.
yeah.
Bittersweet. It's good. It's good.
But
And also,
but when it wants
Sorry,
to be when it wants to be energetic, it gets energetic. Yeah,
yeah, no, it is. It's,
For sure.
like when the part that plays when we see Obito's Ten Tails form.
oh yeah, that.
Like when the God Tree shows up, it's so good.
Oh god, yes.
So yeah.
As no comment on the track.
No, not yet. When we get to our ranking, everything will be better. I promise you. I promise you.
Yes.
Okay.
Although bonus, I like how John Mitchell drew it. It's very symbolic, just like the episode itself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good job, John. But yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it was
Really good
pretty damn
episode.
Good.
It was
Yeah.
great, but I'm having there's conflict in me as Vader could sense. Do I like this episode more or less than the Dragonborn versus the Chosen Undead?
Well,
That's a
This-
damn good question.
well, I mean, for me, I know this is kind of unfair now because, as we just said, the track isn't out yet. But Dark Souls versus Skyrim has Fireborn. That makes it a little hard to top just off that alone.
No, yeah, but I'm just mainly, I guess, in terms of just an overall episode. That's what I mean.
I know, but still. Apart from that, I don't know. Come back later, we'll find out.
I mean, the ending probably pushes it above, but
Maybe a little bit.
But I don't know. I feel like, see, that's the thing. You think Devil Artemis and David have no chance of topping that episode, but somehow they either came close or they did, because I've seen that argument be thrown that it's like, oh, this is better, but it's like, I don't know. You'll know in our ranking.
Yeah, right now I just need the track. That's really all I ask for right now. I could probably make some decision
Okay, but,
once that comes out.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah.
Judging as it is, it's still really good. So
Yeah.
that's good. Vader finally has a good episode under his belt. Let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Vader. So,
Vader has a great episode.
So, we had Vader go from a mid at best episode to a great one. Let's give that honor to another character.
Yeah, sure, why not?
It's the bird call.
Oh my gosh.
I spent more of our budget money on useless things like a bird caller.
God damn you.
Hey, it worked because here comes two birds.
Well, bird-themed characters, actually.
I could just imagine.
Don't ruin my joke.
I could just imagine
I'm sorry.
ZDogg like pushing up some like nerd glasses, like, actually.
I do wear glasses, so I actually
Yeah.
can't do that.
And the irony is, I'm not wearing my glasses.
Do not test me.
And I don't have glasses, so what does that? Where does that leave me?
Way better
It
than both of us.
it leaves you at the next matchup, which is the Phoenix from Marvel versus Raven from DC Comics.
It's Teen Titans
Alright.
versus
Okay.
X-Men.
Yeah.
So this kind of came as a surprise.
Yeah.
Like, not gonna lie, feels really weird this is happening. And,
A
like,
little
not
bit,
in a-
yeah.
and, like, not that I'm like not excited for this. Don't get me wrong. I'm very much looking forward to this. Actually, it's just, man, I was not expecting it, and don't think I've seen anyone predict this.
No.
Like for this year.
I know
Like-
it's been requested. And even back in the olden times, when we were in season 5, which was
The
feels like a
days
long
of
time
yore.
now. The days of season 5. They did talk about doing this fight, but at the time they said they they chose not to do it because Raven would get stomped. I'm just gonna say it like that. Raven would get stomped by both the Phoenix and the Scarlet Witch. So
boys, that didn't age well.
Insert that Markiplier joke here. That didn't age well.
Yeah. I'm just gonna point this out right now, and Speedy has said as much. 2018 Ben was just wrong.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Well,
obviously we won't get into it like too much just yet, but that claim is just wrong. That's really it.
It is very wrong.
Yeah, now it's actually even, and it's kind of up in the air on who fucking wins.
But I mean, okay. Just in general, like ZDogg said, I never saw people predict this one for the season. We've been.
It was a popular matchup. Like, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But,
it was requested and it had its fans.
It's requested for sure.
But it's just like when we think of like potential Marvel versus DC fights to happen, especially since like recently we've only been getting like 2 per season. I don't think anybody's minds went to this one. I think people would instead have their minds transferred to like, I don't know, Mysterio versus Scarecrow or Bullseye versus Deadshot.
Or Martian Manhunter versus Vision.
Or what was another one? Oh, Ego versus Mogo. That was another one I was thinking about.
Or fucking or John Constantine versus. Wait, no, Marvel doesn't have that. Damn it, never mind. But yeah, no. Point is, or fuck, Batman versus Moon Knight, for God's sakes.
Or even Moon Knight and Azrael.
Please don't bring Batman back for the battle.
The point we're trying to make is that no one predicted this.
No. It is. It's a strange little fight to be happening, but I am intrigued.
I am very down. This is a fight. I said this before. I think this is who Raven should have fought initially.
Which again, okay, let me just get this out of the way, and these two guys will know I do not like, and everybody fucking knows, I never liked that previous matchup Raven was involved in to begin with, and I'm kind of happy that Raven gets this fight because it's an opportunity to improve on things that weren't done correctly the first time around, or it's just an opportunity to give us a better episode overall. But
which actually, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I'll let you finish. Okay. I was gonna say maybe that's because sorry to cut in. Maybe that's because like I get why, like, I know a lot of people weren't exactly happy with the Ravens first episode, but like I don't know, I guess just the fact that Raven, like, I say this and I know it's been 5 years and I hate that it's been 5 years, like, man, like, Raven returning, like, I can't even say so soon, like,
it's half a decade.
Yeah, I know, but like still, like I don't know. Maybe it's just because she's appeared in like the post like style change, I guess.
I think
like,
it's just because Raven's popularity continues to skyrocket. She's not a pillar of DC, but the team she's a part of sure is.
Yeah. You know what's interesting though? I didn't even think about this. This is the first time that the three of us come together to talk about a character on this podcast. Yeah, for an upcoming episode.
Maybe that's also like forever ago, we did discuss that first Raven episode. Which, I mean, I don't know if we're just gonna keep winning it like that.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, no, we did. No, y'all discussed it. We weren't all in the same place at the same time when we discussed Raven's first episode. So yeah.
No, but we were all there. we all discussed it together.
We witnessed it.
Like that's just maybe that's why it's a bit weird. Like, yeah, we were all here. Like, we were all. This podcast was still going.
I mean,
like,
to be fair, at the same time, the host lineup was different at the time. You know, it was just me and ZDogg. Richard was there as a guest, but at the same time, it was still the three of us coming together to talk about a character, and now that character is back.
And
I gotta tell you, that's weird.
Maybe that's also like where like
Once
man,
again,
this doesn't feel right. Like, I'm okay with it because like I'm okay with it because like I do like this matchup, but like man, just. It's weird to think about in that sense.
And again, I did forget that I was here with y'all because maybe that's just how much I forgot about. I try and forget a lot of things about Raven versus Twilight. So the fact that I forget that where I was and who I was talking to about it.
Valid.
Fair enough, honestly.
Yeah. So, well, again, if I had a nickel for every time,
God damn it! Stop it!
Comes back, I'm with the same two people talking about that character. I have 2 nickels.
It's funny. I actually thought about that. It's like, is this the first?
Are we gonna need a job for that joke to say like?
At this point. It was interesting because I was thinking about it like. Is this the first time we're talking about the same character twice? And we did. This podcast did exist before Venom's first episode, so there was that. But the host lineup was completely different. These guys never even showed up at that point. So,
So, funny how time works nowadays.
Yeah, but aside from Venom, I'm pretty sure this is the first time.
I think the only other character because the only other possibility we would have had was Captain Marvel, but that was
that was during like a hiatus.
The podcast was in hiatus, so yeah, I think this is like the only time other than Venom to do so. But again, I wasn't here.
I am going to fact check that real quick just to make sure, because if I'm wrong, then this whole conversation. I guess there was Thor, but again hiatus. Does Batman count? Because we technically didn't do a full-on prediction for Batman vs Iron Man because we didn't know he was fighting Iron Man at the time. No, it doesn't count because we didn't do a Black Panther prediction.
There you go.
I didn't think about that. So that one doesn't count.
Okay, so regardless.
I'm pretty sure this is the first time. Raven's back. Let's talk about that instead.
Aside from like the weird like mental like wow like can't believe she's back like
I know,
we're talking about her again I'm happy she's back like I like from like and like I think I'm like the other one here who doesn't dislike Raven Twilight and like nothing against Raven Twilight I was fine with that match happening like I can agree, I think Raven could have used it wasn't the best for I think the matchup is honestly pretty alright, but in terms of showcasing the characters, it could have been better. So
say if you know who Raven is or have seen something with her in it. Okay. Alright, so this is like Darth Vader.
I don't know where you were going with this, but
where I'm going with this is like, okay, we all know who Raven is. Like, we all know Teen Titans because that is where she was introduced. She was created. She was put in the original all new Teen Titans back in the '80s by Marv Wolfman, George Perez, and all that. but I know most of us, including myself, were introduced to her via a famous little cartoon that had the Teen Titans name that was very popular back in the day.
And that was Teen Titans. No, I'm joking.
Get the fuck out of here. Yeah, no. Like, let's be honest. That's where we all know. That is our Raven. That is where we know this character from. It was the 03 Teen Titans cartoon.
I mean, I know, I know of Raven because of the Teen Titans cartoon, but I got more acquainted with her through other means. But
That's fair enough. But again,
because I am what you may call an uncultured swine who hasn't seen who hasn't watched much of the show.
Oh, now you need to watch the first season.
Yeah.
It's 12, 13 episodes, 22 minutes each. Get on it. It's on Max. Go watch it on Max.
I don't have Max.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
I do have Teen Titans though, so it's not like I don't have an excuse. I'm just saying I don't have Max.
Okay, well just go fucking watch it. Just go fucking watch it.
Maybe I will.
Yeah.
I need to.
I guess I'm just where I'm going with this is I don't think Raven's popularity has skyrocketed for the past 20 years, and she continues to be a recognizable and iconic character in her own right. Very much like Superman, only has one good story that is constantly told over and over again in any form of fucking medium.
Yeah.
Even a shitty live action show. Probably should have mentioned I watched that too.
Oh, you madman.
I have. I know. Yeah, I am. It's okay now. It's over
least,
now. It's gone.
Good.
At least Raven hasn't been Snyderified. I guess that's a term, right?
No, there was a Teen Titans Go episode where Zack Snyder guest starred in, and the Teen Titans essentially Zack Snydered themselves into a hypothetical battle with Zack Snyder's dark side, and you get to see the Teen Titans in the Snyder style.
Damn it! Of course, if anything was gonna Snyderify Raven, of course it'd be Teen Titans Go.
Okay, no joke. She actually looks kind of hot in the Snyder style. I'm not.
Okay, cool, but it's still Snyder. And it's funny. I actually have nothing against the guy himself.
No, that's right.
But man, I'm so tired of. I'm so tired of his cult on Twitter. I don't care what people say. It's a freaking cult.
Yeah. For real.
Is it at least a nice cult? Did they lay out flowers?
No.
No. Okay. Bad cult.
They lay out weapons for those who don't like them.
Okay. Yeah, that's definitely bad cult.
Bit of a side note, but bit of a side note, but that cult seems to have convinced Twitter that Batman vs Superman is good.
How?
Which I don't know. I don't.
Like.
But yeah, no. Anyway, back on topic.
Yeah.
We all know who Raven is. We've all been introduced to her in some form of medium, and I think it's obvious that whenever we hear her talk, most of us, obviously, the voice we hear that comes to mind is Tara Strong's performance. And yes, I love Tara Strong's performance. I know that's ironic coming from somebody who bashes the hell out of her Harley Quinn performance, but hey, I can like
her as a person.
I can. I don't hate her as a person.
That's neither here nor there.
Yeah, no, exactly. Her Harley Quinn voice is literally just 1,000 nails on a chalkboard to my ears. But transitioning over to Phoenix, or
she's a new face.
The redhead.
It's so interesting because we've heard the Phoenix brought up so many times in more recent Marvel episodes. So it's very interesting. I'm very interested to see what they have to say about herself.
Which honestly, which also kind of adds up. kind of feels like she's been a long time coming for the show.
I know, right?
We
Like,
really had. We've
Because,
had running through
even-
the X-Men characters. We've had Wolverine. We've had Magneto. We've had Wanda. We've God damn, we've had Beast.
And Silver Samurai.
We've had Silver Samurai. We've had Quicksilver.
We had
Let's
Rogue.
keep going. We had Rogue. We had
I mean-
Apocalypse last season.
Yeah, but you know,
Um,
not
am I forgetting anybody?
well, if you are, then that probably means their episode isn't that good.
I mean, probably. Oh my God, we had Storm.
Hey, my point exactly. Thank you for proving my point.
No, I prove your. Hey, yeah, no, I prove your point, but her animation.
Oh, there's
her
Cable.
animation-
Wow. Okay, I take that back. Cable.
Yeah, we had Cable. Oh my God, I can't believe I forgot the greatest.
I'm like-
one of the greatest season 7 episodes of all time.
Although I guess the Death Metal wiki is also counting Deadpool.
Yeah,
That's-
he's on and
I mean,
off again.
I get it, but that's a bit. I get it, but like, I kind of always viewed Deadpool as like his own thing.
Yeah, I mean,
He's not really tied to anybody.
Deadpool's an Avenger, for God's sake. So I would count him more as more of an Avenger than X-Men. I mean, in Deadpool 2, he did become a member of the X-Men. He was trained by, he was under training.
True.
He was being trained by his silver chrome boy toy. I mean, Colossus.
Oh dear gosh.
No joke. I ship Colossus and Deadpool.
Understandable.
Okay.
But yeah, no.
You
So
know, we stand
Phoenix-
anyway.
Phoenix
yeah,
is
like-
the newest member of the X-Men characters to be in a death
that-
battle.
I know I know Death Battle can like just use whoever they want at this point, but like, how did we get a fight with Rogue and Harada before freaking Phoenix?
That is a
That's a good question.
Not just
Also,
like all the other ones I can understand, but like with how big
Yeah.
a player Phoenix seems
I
to be,
also-
because like
I also disagree. If they can't
Right,
just use
that's-
anybody. They can't just use anybody because where the hell is Cyclops? Oh wait, it's only
That's
because
true.
probably because
that
That's
is
true, actually. Where is Cyclops?
yeah, it's like the de facto leader, quote unquote, of the X-Men.
Plus, we haven't had any fantastic. I mean, I know this is off topic, but we also haven't had any Fantastic Four somehow, so that's weird.
That is weird. I mean, I guess Doctor
Yeah,
Doom,
right.
kind of.
Yeah,
That-
yeah, there you
kind
go.
of.
Yeah, kind of.
But,
But-
yeah,
It's weird
Yeah.
how the X-Men have more represent. How
Yes.
the X-Men have more representation than.
they are mutants. We need more mutant rep. Anyway,
Yeah.
so yeah,
Okay.
pretty sure we all know. Pretty sure we all know what the Phoenix is and who Jean Grey is.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Especially if you're one of those poor saps who played against her in Marvel vs. Capcom 3. Oh boy.
I did not. I
You're
just love to call her Scott and Logan's anchor. That they have to share.
I mean, she essentially is the X-Men's team mom.
Yeah. Who has also dated and had sex with both Cyclops and Logan, sometimes on and off again.
Yes, but one of them had a kid with her, so I'd say he wins.
But that is true. That is true. And one had a kid with her, and one was traumatized that he had to kill her in a movie. Or
But
Logan
don't
didn't
wor-
get a good
But don't worry, she got better.
Yeah.
somehow.
It's comics.
It's
Um,
but
Yeah.
so I do know who Jean Grey is, and I'm gonna be honest. She's probably my least favorite X-Men member of all time. I do not
Yeah.
care for her. like at all. She's kind of
Wow.
boring to me. Yeah, I know. I know. Man, learned a lot about me today.
Careful with the hot takes.
Yeah.
Look. Also, like, even she's literally just an attractive redhead that is just used as an end of the world threat in mostly every story. Because maybe that's also just why I don't care for her. The Phoenix storyline has literally been oversaturated and overdone so many times. It's right up there with the death of fucking Superman or fucking Superman versus Doomsday. It's yeah. I was always more of a Rogue supporter when it came to female X-Men.
If only she had a good episode.
Yeah, no.
Anything.
But again, Rogue. I'm not saying Jean Grey is a bad character. It's just I'm just not interested in her, especially when
That's fair.
in one fucking X-Men cartoon, she literally that's the thing. Every time Logan and Scott are around Jean Grey, it literally just becomes a dick measuring contest on who is worthy of her love, and she essentially just lets them fight it out sometimes. Maybe she'll get involved, because in one X-Men cartoon, she was upset that that Scott tried to beat the shit out of Wolverine because she gave Logan the fuck me eyes, and Logan was just kind of going with it, and Scott got jealous. He tried to beat the crap out of Wolverine, but he wasn't going to fight him because Jean Grey came to him and said, "Hey, don't fight my blind don't fight my blind laser shooting boyfriend." Okay, I won't do that, and he didn't. That's just my main problem. Is she's always just used as she's always just in a love triangle with Stabby McKnuckles over there and Clark Kent's biggest fanboy.
There's some like major disrespect to Wolverine and Cyclops, but all right.
I'm not... It's not even disrespect. It's literally just me trying to dog on them. I can dog on characters I like.
Fine. I will say I do like Jean's overall struggle. Like, she's been possessed by this like insane like outer like dimensional power basically. And she struggles to like control it, because if she doesn't, then she loses her mind and starts killing everybody. So it's basically a story of her trying to like restrain herself until she can either control or get rid of the Phoenix Force. Either option is fine with her.
And also too, if you think I was being harsh and over-exaggerating that the Phoenix storyline has been overused in mediums, it was literally used as the crux for 3 fucking X-Men movies in the Fox universe.
Yeah.
There's even been stories where she has successfully gotten rid of the Phoenix Force. In one of the cartoons that I mentioned, she was able to get rid of it, and Emma Stone got the Phoenix Force. But
because that makes it so much better.
Well, no. If anything, it was worse because Emma Stone wasn't as strong. She was a good psychic. Psychic in her own right, but her mental powers were not strong enough to hold the thing in. So she kind of had to kamikaze herself to get rid of the Phoenix Force.
Yikes.
And I was kind of liking her character. But, hey, Jean Grey got a happy ending, and she got to be with Scott. And then the series ends on a goddamn cliffhanger.
Well.
Hey, well, I mean, at least they got that in common with Teen Titans.
Yeah, but unlike Teen Titans, they only have their cartoon. This cartoon that I'm referring to only lasted 1 season.
Oh, okay.
Teen Titans actually lasted 5 seasons and had 2 movies.
Yeah, but then it ends on a cliffhanger, and where do they go from there? With Teen Titans Go. Oof.
Yeah, so... I don't know, I guess I'm just trying to pad this out because I really want to make it seem like, okay, this isn't just a case where I'm not familiar with one and I'm unfamiliar with the other. I am familiar with both of them, but unfortunately I only like one of them more. But, you know, I mean, hey, I do actually like that in one of the cartoons that I've been referencing, Jean Grey actually did get a happy ending and she got rid of the damn thing, and she was able to have a happy ending with Scott.
Yay.
Yay. And it all came at the cost of Emma Stone's life.
Boo.
Although I hope Jean Grey doesn't try and read Scott's mind, because if she does, then she's gonna find that Scott actually was trying to have a rebound relationship with Emma Stone, and he actually asked Emma Stone to erase his memories of Jean, because he was getting sick and tired of just being tortured, that she wasn't there with him anymore, because everyone thought she was dead.
Can I backtrack a little bit? Are you referring to Emma Frost?
Yeah, Emma Frost. I don't know why. Wait, did I know?
Because okay.
You kept saying Emma Stone.
Emma Stone.
It's like, yeah. I thought I knew who you were talking about, and then you kept saying Emma Stone, and I'm like, wait, now I'm confused.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. I don't know where that.
like, well, I'm like, wait.
No, it's fine. But yeah, no, again, I would recommend giving X-Men, Wolverine and the X-Men a watch. It's pretty decent. It's on Disney Plus.
Does that,
along with X-Men Evolution. It's also a good cartoon.
Do those ones have Steve Bloom voicing Wolverine?
Yes. Wait,
okay,
no, only one of them. It's X-Men. It's Wolverine in the X-Men that has Steve Bloom.
Okay,
and the
then
guy who voices
that's the one I'm watching then.
Yeah, the guy who voices Wolverine in X-Men Evolution, which is essentially their Teen Titans, they essentially age down the main core group, except obviously Wolverine, Storm, Beast, and Charles Xavier. They age down most of the core ones into teenagers.
Okay.
So because that was a popular thing at the time, and the guy who they got to voice Wolverine was fucking Bat Hound from Crypto the Super Dog.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah. He was alright. I like, his Wolverine was okay, but it's like, yeah, no.
Steve Bloom.
Yeah, watch Wolverine in the X-Men. It's on Disney Plus, and yeah, it has Steve Bloom. It has Steve Bloom as Wolverine, and it has Nolan.
Oh.
No, he just left.
Yeah, he just left. That's interesting. Well, I mean, noted. I will keep that in mind.
Yep.
Where the hell did he go?
That's a great question.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Yeah, no, that's my bad. Okay,
no worries.
No.
So yeah, Phoenix and Raven, they're pretty cool.
They're pretty cool. Glad Phoenix is on. Glad Raven's back. Yeah.
Yeah, no.
That's basically the whole mission for it.
You know what would be cool? If we had a preview to go off of to show us the capacity of how epic this fight could be.
Well, I am really glad you said that.
That's fortunate.
I'm on a roll with these segues. Thank God.
Yeah.
Thank God I invested in good segue, nicesegue.com.
Oh my gosh. I mean, totally doesn't date us because we're totally recording this before because we're not late. Anyway, this movie looks really damn good.
Yeah, it does.
So we got a preview.
We did get a preview. Yes. Yeah, as I mentioned before, we're recording this literally the day this preview was shown for the first time. Scheduling was a thing. B, I really wanted to make sure we do this match justice.
Yep.
So
yeah. And I'm in the process of getting ready to move into my first very own apartment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're obviously recording this a little late. It doesn't matter for you people watching because it's going to come out about the same time as all the other ones do. But it matters for us because we have quite a bit to talk about when it comes to the production, actually, because we actually know what the fight looks like, kind of.
Yeah, and it looks really good.
We know what it looks like. We know who's voicing. We know who's doing the music.
We know everything. We know everything, except we really don't. But we'll get to that. But we'll get to that part later.
Yeah.
So it's a sprite fight. You know, I guess that was not really much of a surprise, but yeah, it's a sprite fight.
I mean, they do have 3D models, but Raven only has 2 good ones. The first one from the Teen Titans 03 video game, and the other is the Injustice 1 model.
Yeah, and one of them is a GameCube game, and the other one is Injustice 1, where she looks freaking horrendous.
And she talks like hell.
So, yeah, kind of glad they're not doing this one in 3D, actually.
I actually like the sprite, and if I'm correct, but then again, I am somebody who has not rewatched Raven vs. Twilight in God knows how long, so I'll have Brobuscus correct me on this, but I'm pretty sure if I was a betting man,
this is the same sprite. If that's what you're,
yes.
If that's what you're asking.
Is it?
Yes.
Yeah,
That's my question.
It doesn't look like it.
It's the same one, but they're not. It's the same one, but they're not playing by the sprite's horrible limitations that they had. Because puppet rigging is a hell of a drug. As it turns out, puppet rigging does wonders.
Yes, thank God they have puppet rigging now.
Because man, I was kind of hoping they wouldn't use those sprites initially because I didn't like them in Raven Twilight, but but they're making them look good.
They are. They're doing. They are making them. I was honestly half expecting Origin to create a new set of sprites for Raven.
Nope.
No. Yeah, it's the same one, but like Brobuscus said, puppet rigging is now at their disposal, so they'll be able to make this sprite actually look better than it was 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And then you have Jean Grey sprites, which I'm pretty sure those are pulled from just anywhere.
I mean, I don't know where exactly they're pulled from, but they're pretty typical like Marvel style sprites.
I imagine they're based off like MVC3 style. Well, not. You know what I'm trying to say. They're based off.
Yeah.
They're Marvel vs. Capcom-esque.
They do.
Which is actually it's impressive because Phoenix never appeared in the sprite-based Marvel vs. Capcom games. No,
she only appeared in Marvel vs. Capcom 3 / Ultimate.
Yeah.
But people make like style that. People make those style of sprites for like non-MVC characters. You know.
Yeah, I mean we got it with Ant-Man earlier, so.
Exactly.
So it only makes sense for us to do the same thing for Phoenix. And they look pretty damn good.
They're very, very good.
Also, actually, one of the things I wanted from this fight was to see to see their birds fight because like they're named after. It's like they're named after birds, so I thought why not just play into that, you know?
And they literally do that seconds into the fight.
Yeah.
Not skipping on that.
And I mean, it's really good. I think that's Moro
It's really
doing
good.
that.
Yeah, this is I believe this is moral work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My gosh. Looks
Yes.
so good so far.
So good.
Animators, along with our typical our typical Hall of Fame cast of animators, Luis and Zach.
No,
Yeah.
don't play that. I went to go pull up the cast so I could get more of an idea of the previous visuals, and it ended up playing over the recording.
Oops.
I mean, the preview is out as its own thing.
Oh, it's true, actually. I already have.
You don't even need to go to the cast.
I already have it up. No big deal. They keep blowing me away with these 3D environments. Holy crap.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
So I want to point out, because where they're fighting, because I know some people, unless you read the funny books, they are fighting in Azarath.
Ah.
Yeah.
And it's funny. I know enough, and I've seen enough of Azarath. So as soon as, but even before Raven says anything, I'm like, oh, okay, cool. They're fighting on Azarath. That's nice. That's a big step up from them fighting in the treehouse in Raven's previous fight.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's very fast.
It is very fast. I will say I do like the Soul Self a lot.
Yes, it looks a lot better this time around.
Yeah, because it looked kind of like
No.
it looked kind of like scratchy last time. Like it was,
Yeah. Well, I mean,
like it looked.
be fair, that was 2018, Luis, and
I know.
If I remember, and if I remember correctly, again, please correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure Luis did the animation all by himself on that fight.
Yes.
Probably.
Okay.
Yeah, because that was before they started like collaborating with each other for the most part. Before they just decided, hey, why don't we just all animate one fight? It's just easier that way.
Another thing I like is the use of Raven's telekinesis. They very much keep that that solid black and kind of light outline-ish look from the 03 Teen Titans show.
Yeah.
So that's cool, and I even love the flame flex that Phoenix is displaying.
Yeah. Actually, one thing I do want to comment on, because when this fight was announced, I know Speedy was mentioning like I know people are gonna be like, people are about like the setups. They get overly picky about everything.
Yeah.
But it was always a question of like, well, I mean, both of them are kind of pacifists, so like, how do you start that? Well, you start it by having Phoenix wanting to prevent the literal embodiment of Satan destroying everything, and Raven wants to defend her home from this invading fire lady. Sure, that makes sense. It works for me.
I can take it.
Yeah. It's just a lot of people expect these like. Apparently, at this point, when characters are like, even the slightest bit out of character, people lose their minds over it, and it's just like, I don't know what you really expected there, bud.
But yeah, no, they're all pretty in character here, and I also love the callbacks. I love that that scene where it's pitch black and you see Raven's eyes open, but they're red. That's the Trigon inside of her.
It looks
obviously, again.
That's
a
chilling.
Callback. Yeah, that's a callback to the 03 show. Again, a lot of callbacks to the 03. And yeah, it does. It's very fast paced.
But I mean, that makes sense. These two are.
The Madness reference in there, where they're in that cellar, and it literally just comes multiverse. It literally just screams multiverse.
I'm pretty sure that is. I'm I'm pretty sure that's X Mansion. The X-Men Mansion,
Maybe?
whatever it's called. I'm pretty sure that's where she sent the Phoenix.
That makes sense.
But yeah. So far, I mean, it's pretty short, but it's pretty
We'll
short
have
and it's
to wait
pretty
and see.
fast. But so far, so good.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
no, it is. It's
Sorry.
the probably is one of the best 2D sprite fights we've had so far, compared to say Killua versus Misaka or Rocket versus Stitch. Like it feels like it's on those levels. But yeah.
Well, I was about to say something. Was it? I hate when I lose my train of thought.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. What the hell was I going to say? Oh yeah. When this episode was announced, I know like a bunch of the researchers were like, "Yeah, by the way, this fight goes crazy." Like even on commentary, they had Tiki on. And when they got to the next time, they were just kind of briefly talking about it. Tiki was like, "Yeah, I don't usually get super involved with these like big like comic book fights because it's just not in my wheelhouse." Even though he literally wrote and researched on Black Adam vs. Apocalypse, but you know, whatever. But he was mentioning like he's been following the animation process on this fight religiously. And it's been coming together really well, and so far I can see where he's going with that.
Heck yeah.
It's solid. This is solid so far. I'm really into it.
Yeah, I'm very into it. I mean, I know it probably will, but I just hope we get like more. I don't know. I just hope it continues into the full fight.
Yeah.
So. Yeah.
And then there's voice acting.
Voice acting. So, yeah. So, funny thing. So, well, I guess we'll just say Raven's voice actor is returning.
Indeed.
Jared Buchan will be voicing Raven again. And I just want to say a funny thing. So, you know, I always thought, like, yeah, she's probably going to come back. I don't know who else could come back. And then, like, when I watched the preview, I was like, oh, they didn't get Raven back. That's kind of a shame, but, you know, whatever. Hope this new person will, you know, she sounds good, so, yeah. And then it was revealed, oh, yeah, that was Kira, like, huh?
Yeah.
Like, no. Like, I was a bit, like, shocked. Maybe just because, like...
No, it's. I get it. No, I was curious too. 'Cause it is a very different voice.
It is a very different. Yeah, like in Raven Twilight, like it was like a lot deeper of a voice. But you know, I completely get, especially when Kira was voicing both characters that wanted to differentiate it from Twilight. But here, like it sounds a lot closer to like the Teen Titans-esque Raven voice, like we all know.
Yeah.
Like. But you know. I'm glad it just caught me off guard. Like, oh, okay, we're gonna, huh? Like, I'm cool with it, but like, really,
I definitely like it a lot more.
Yeah, I mean, I did like her. I mean, I did like her performance in Raven Twilight, but I can already tell this is probably gonna be a lot better. So.
It's funny how like a lot of my I think I mentioned this when we were talking about that episode way back when, but a lot of my issues from Raven Twilight are from Raven, because I can't really speak on Twilight's behalf. But it's like in the fight at least, all the Twilight stuff I thought was actually kind of neat. Like I thought her sprite was pretty good. I liked Kira's performance. But then you switch over to Raven and it's like I don't like her sprite and I don't like Kira's performance here. And now they're both back here, and they're suddenly really good.
There you go. Yeah. What 5 years of experience will do for you, I guess.
That's true. It's funny because Speedy mentioned Speedy was talking. He was really hyping this up, and he was saying that that this fight is going to make Raven versus Twilight look terrible by comparison. And I'm part of me was like tempted to make the obvious jokes, like, but it already was though. But I stepped back.
Aww.
I didn't say it. Someone else did though.
Yeah. Well.
But I mean, so far, even ignoring Raven vs. Twilight, this fight does look really good, and I do like Kira's performance a lot. And then Corey Pettit, however you pronounce her name, as Phoenix, returning from voicing Mitsuru.
Yeah. No, that wasn't surprised.
That's been a hot minute.
Yeah.
Hot anyway. No, I'm not gonna make a nice one. Anyway, yeah, she sounds pretty good so far.
Yeah, I like her.
I like both the actress. I agree with both y'all. I like how Kira actually leans in more to her Tara Strong impression with Raven.
Yeah.
And Corey, right? Corey?
Yeah, Corey.
Yeah, Corey. That's
Corey
ironic.
P. Corey P.
Her name is Corey with a C and a Y, but she's not voicing Starfire, who's also Corey, but with a K.
Well, maybe if we do get Starfire at some point, maybe she will voice her. Who knows?
The Starfire for the next Teen Titans representation. Let's go.
I prefer Cyborg, but
or Beast Boy.
Or Robin just doesn't get it.
No, Robin, screw that guy.
Well, first of all, Robin already showed up in Death Battle. I'll have you know.
I guess I guess the Teen Titans Robin was Nightwing. Yeah.
The 03 Robin was Dick Grayson. Would you believe me if I said that was
fair enough?
That was a huge debate back then because nobody knew which Robin that was. Some people even thought that was Drake, but then it was confirmed that no, that's Dick Grayson. Because here's an episode where Starfire goes to an alternate universe future, and oh, look at that, that's Nightwing.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. I like the voice acting. It's good.
Yeah.
Both actresses give great performance, and again, I just Kira is one of my favorite YouTube voice actors, and I think bringing her back to do Raven was a good choice, especially since I kind of, no disrespect to her, but I liked her Twilight voice more than her Raven voice back then.
Agreed.
But I think
that's fair.
She came along. Whatever she did this time around that was different. Props to her because again, it's good. I like it.
Yeah.
Actually, come to think of it, what was Kira's last role on the show?
Raven versus Twilight.
Raven and
Was it
Twilight.
really?
Yeah.
Gosh.
Yeah.
Her only other one was Toph.
Wow, okay, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's been 5 years since she's been VA. That's cool.
Yeah.
Since then, she landed her. Although to her credit, since then she landed her dream role.
Yeah, there you go. You'll love to see it.
So.
Yeah, exactly.
That's probably what she did differently. Is she voiced Jolene?
Yeah. What? She voiced a JoJo character. There you go.
There you go. And then Therwolf decides to flex on us with the soundtrack.
I was just gonna say that, Aaron. Hey, so what? So both these two come from iconic teams that have iconic theme songs. Yeah.
Yeah.
Why don't we just use that as the track? Literally the melody, literally the beats of their theme songs in this. So Ravens is da na 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 na, and then obviously Phoenix is da na na na. It's like it sounds so good, especially
it's
when
so good.
It's perfectly timed with the animation, so when one of them is on screen, their theme plays, and I just love. I'm sorry, like, look, I love the Teen Titans theme. I really love the Teen Titans theme. But just hearing the '90s X-Men theme, it literally makes me just want to punch something.
You're not competing with the X-Men theme. No, I'm really glad they're implementing both of them.
Okay, this is off topic, but you know what would be cool? Because we know Wolverine and Deadpool are gonna fight in Deadpool 3, right?
Yeah.
Just have the score just be the '90s X-Men theme play when they're fighting each other.
There you go. That'd be fun.
But this preview is awesome.
Yeah, it's really good so far.
So, yeah. Is there anything else we were hoping for in the fight, though, that we haven't seen already? Out of curiosity.
Nothing specific. Really, I think my biggest thing is that I just hope they continue to give both of them their due, and I think they're doing that, so.
Heck yeah.
I hope the end death is good.
I probably will be, no matter who wins. So.
Yeah. And I guess before we get into that, should mention some of the crew behind this episode. So Ben is directing again. So there's that. It almost feels like it's actually like kind of important to bring up now because like initially it was just like, oh yeah, Ben's directing, go figure. But at least in this season, like this is his second episode this season.
Damn.
So funny how that works. Although at the same time, giving Dark Souls vs. Skyrim to anybody aside from Liam is a crime. So,
Yep.
So Speedy's researching Phoenix. That's I mentioned that I'm bringing his name up all the time. Now you know why.
There you go. Yeah, Speedy, our boy.
This is dude. Props to him because like, this is his 4th episode in a row.
It is.
But not only that, but on top of that, he was researching for a bunch of the blogs back in winter. Like he did like all the research on characters like Maleficent and Indiana Jones.
Oh my god.
And I'm pretty sure he led like 90% of the research on Toph Terra as well. I could be wrong about that.
Yeah.
And on top of that, like during the second wave, there was the fight scripts. He wrote those.
Nice.
So
he's been keeping himself busy. My gosh.
A little. Yeah, he's been keeping himself quite busy. Fortunately, this is his swan song this season. So.
Yeah, there you go.
Getting down early.
Brobuscus is gonna hate me for saying this one more time. If I had a nickel for every time
Damn it.
Speedy has researched an X-Men character, I have 3 nickels. Which is more than 2 nickels.
And if I had a nickel for every time Speedy and Jukum were researching opposing characters, I would also have 2 nickels. Because Jukum is researching Raven.
Jukum.
Speedy versus Jukum, round 2.
Who's gonna win? Will Jukum redeem themselves? Will they be 1-1?
That's it.
You know what's funny? It's funny because I said this is Speedy's swan song this season. This fight is being written by Liam Swan.
I'm like,
he's literally researched 4 of the he's researched like what 4 of the 6 episodes that are out now.
Yeah.
Yes.
In a row.
Yeah, Speedy he's everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, last season he had just 3. He had Sauron, Magneto, 4. He had Sauron, Magneto, Omni-Man, and Scarlet Witch.
Scarlet Witch, yeah. Imagine Scarlet Witch being your first death battle assignment. Couldn't be me.
Oh, you poor soul.
It's
yeah.
but like this season he got Misaka, Rocket, Obito, and Phoenix back to back to back. Like, damn man.
Hey, I respect that. Speedy is. He's
Oh
awesome.
no, I respect the hell out of it.
Like, yeah.
Yeah. G-Cum got lucky. They've only gotten 2 episodes so far, but you never know.
Don't worry, they'll get more.
Absolutely, I know they will.
I won't say much on why, but I'm pretty sure they're doing the research on one of the champions ballot matchups. I won't say which one, not yet, but
I'm not gonna even try and guess.
Yeah, that's not.
yeah. Even if you guessed it, I'm not. Even if you guessed it, I'm not telling you.
No, I know.
Didn't
I know.
say anything.
So, I say that I say that I don't know which of the I don't know which character he's researching though. So,
Yeah, no, that's fair. Yeah, no, it is. I'm excited for Speedy and Jukum.
oh, and I forgot. Also, Parker is editing this one. Forgot to mention that. Yeah.
First time with a lot more comic book editing.
A lot more
than
comic
Rocket
books.
Stitch. So we'll see how well they do.
I mean,
With a lot more comics.
I purposely have not watched the previews just because I'd rather just wait for the episodes. And again, I'm just.
I have. They're pretty solid so far.
Well, that's good.
And then I guess the last thing to really talk about is what symbol is this on the cipher?
Yes.
Yes.
Which I am pretty sold on it being the yin yang.
I think the
I'm
yin-yang
not sure.
is no. Okay, here's my thing.
I know there's a strong possibility that the yin yang is Cole Alex.
Yeah.
It most
guessing it's
definitely is.
See, here's my thing. Here's why I think this is kind of weird. Is I think the yin yang could be like it could be this fight. It could be Cole versus Alex. It could even be Vader versus Obito. I don't really know anymore. But it's whenever I see people say like, oh yeah, it's 100% this symbol, then I'm like, what's this fight then? It's like I saw people saying that Phoenix versus Raven could be the half moon, which we predicted Vader versus Obito to be last episode. So then it's like, okay, then what's Vader versus Obito? I've seen people say that Vader versus Obito and this fight could also be the Lotus, the flower.
Yeah.
Because correct me if I'm wrong, but aren't lotuses like a symbol of rebirth?
Oh, that's right.
Yes, you are correct.
So then, yeah, I could fit that.
Yeah, I could fit that. Yeah, if it's not the yin yang, it's probably that then. If I had to guess.
Yeah, but I'm still kind of sold on Vader versus Obito being the half moon.
Yeah, that not for sure. That I agree
Maybe
with.
it is the yin yang again. Well, then again, Brobuscus. I'm sorry, ZDogg could be right. It could be the yin yang, but I just think that would make more sense to have it go to Cole versus Alex.
I mean, I definitely see how it relates to Cole Alex, and if it is,
I've also heard
that's
someone. I've also heard someone predict it could be the pentagram.
Unless Cole versus Alex are the scales.
I've seen that suggestion before, and I don't get it. Then again, I'm not crazy. I'm not crazy expert on Cole and Alex, but I get that. But
yeah.
But I'd never understood why people were predicting Cole Alex to be the scales.
Yeah. No, straight up.
It's funny how we only have like. It's funny how we only have like 3 matches this season that are like, yeah, this is 100% this symbol.
Yeah.
Ant-Man Atom, it's the Atom. Dark Souls Skyrim, it's the swords. Bill vs Discord, it's the question mark. Aside from that, it's a juggling act.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying I do not think it's the pentagram for 2 reasons.
No, I don't think it's the pentagram either.
Well, first of all, I think I'm pretty sold on Kilo and Misaka being the one that's what that's for.
Oh, I don't agree with that.
I think Killua versus Misaka is the money.
I agree with that. I think Killer Mitsuka's the dollar sign. It's either the dollar sign or the beaker. For me, it's either the dollar sign or the beaker, but I'm convinced at this point that Stitch Rocket is the beaker.
Yeah, here's my thing. Here's my thing for both the dollar sign and the pentagram for Raven Phoenix. That only applies to one. That only applies to half the characters. But I don't see how the pentagram applies to Phoenix or the dollar sign amount applies to.
No, the dollar sign is for Killer Mitsuka.
No. Yeah, I know, but I still think it only applies to half of them in that case.
Well, I also just think, okay, with the yin yang, okay, so I look at it like this. Here's how I look at it. Now thinking about it, the yin yang could make sense for Raven versus Phoenix because, okay, with Raven being, let's say Raven is the yin, is the light. She is a light. She eventually gets her white form, and she's expelled Trigon, and she's a symbol of light. Whereas with Jean Grey, with her being the dark, the yang, she has the Phoenix Force, and that's always the monstrous, demented monster that wants to destroy everything. So they literally even though. Again, Jean Grey doesn't wear black or anything, but it almost fits with the whole black and white thing.
Yeah.
It's funny because I'm pretty sure. It's funny because I'm pretty sure either whatever fight ends up being the yin yang could also probably be the half moon. Because this fight is very much a light versus dark sort of thing. How the half moon is half light, half dark. That just kind of is. It's poetic that way. I mean, at the same time, I'm still convinced that the half moon is Vader Obito, but
semantics.
You know what we need to do?
What's that?
If we ever bring back, you know what we need to do? If we ever bring a certain a JM back, I don't even know why I'm trying to be subtle, but if we ever bring a certain somebody back, maybe we can ask them, well, hey, can you tell us what these symbols mean?
Oh, I doubt he'll know.
I don't know. He could. I don't know. He could. You never know.
Although if another plan we've been talking about pulls through, we could just ask him.
Yeah,
that's true.
Because actually, you know what? I was about to just subtly hint at who it is, and I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah.
I understand why.
I was about to give the most non-subtle hint as to who it is, just off what I was about to say, and I'm gonna back that up.
No. We need to keep that a surprise. Because we need to stay on top of the lads.
Yeah. Also, to be fair, there's no guarantee that it would work, but we'll see.
No, but in case it does, my lips are sealed.
Exactly.
Yeah, both of you ain't saying anything. Both of you ain't saying anything because I'm the one who has to make these things happen because I'm our guest. I'm the one who reaches out and gets the yes.
All right, calm down.
I was gonna say.
No, I'm sorry. All right, you fine, then you go contact Liz Restar.
I mean, I've DM'd him before. I could do it.
Yeah.
Anyway, so who the hell is winning this?
That's a great question.
That's a question I've asked myself in my sleep.
So we've been delaying this for so long because I've been trying to find any sort of answer I could give. I've been admittedly I don't have a lot of notes on Phoenix. I have a blog for that, but
Wait a minute. I got it. I know who's gonna win.
Who?
The bird.
Oh damn, you're right. All right. Anyways,
Yo, Liam Sweep, let's go. Hell yeah.
Hey, Liam Sweep.
Yeah.
Which I didn't comment on this, but isn't it ironic that Liam Swan is the one who
Yeah. Dude, you know what's funny? When Vader versus Obito was coming out, obviously the research team, more specifically Speedy, were just being trolls, talking about hey, who's excited for the next one? And someone asked can you at least tell us who's writing it? And Speedy's response was Birdman.
Birdman.
Oh.
Birdman. Awesome.
It's always the non-subtle hints that fool everybody.
Of course.
Yeah.
Gosh,
Apparently, if the research team are make the most subtle hints ever, apparently someone in the community is psychic and guesses the fight off the bat. But then they drop the most obvious hint ever, and nobody gets it. As soon as Speedy mentioned Birdman, it should have been oh, okay, cool.
Ain't that ironic?
But no one picked it up. All right. So anyways, I'm hoping this conversation can give us some sort of idea as to who's winning this, because I have nothing.
Yeah, no, I'm okay. Here's what I've heard. Raven has grown powerful enough to where she can kill Jean Grey, but there's it's kind of up in the air on whether or not she can destroy the Phoenix. I'm just gonna say, for the sake of argument, I don't think she can destroy the Phoenix.
So, okay. So here's the thing. I mean, for me, I've kind of been working under the same assumption I do with most higher tier Marvel vs. DC fights, in that figuring out a winner through strength and speed alone is impossible.
Yeah, because these two might as well be dead even with each other, especially if they do use the same speed feat they gave for Raven's Soul Stealth back in Raven Re Twilight, even if that speed feat is a little dubious.
Well, not even just that, both of them have some both of them reach a level. Both of them reach a level of power and speed that's just impossible to measure.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, especially when Raven goes into her Trigon, what I like to call her Trigon mode, and Trigon takes control of the reel.
Yeah.
Raven's even more powerful. I mean,
hell, Raven.
Here's an example.
Hell, Raven beat her dark self in a battle, which is has all the power of Trigon.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, hell, here's another thing. Raven has consistently been able to beat down Trigon, the devil guy who basically is one of the most powerful DC villains of all time. So much so that he can actually go toe to toe with Darkseid.
Yeah.
So I know they're gonna give her that kind of scaling, but don't count Jean Grey.
The main scaling that was in Raven's favor, aside from Trigon, way back when, was Donna Troy, but Donna Troy is still Wonder Woman level, she's which is still crazy. I don't know if that truly competes with the Phoenix Force, but then she's got Trigon, Dr. Fate, the Spectre,
probably John Constantine.
It's crazy the amount of people that Raven scales to.
In terms of magic base, yeah, it is, and I think that's probably what could potentially give. But then again, it's like you said, the Phoenix isn't that far behind. If anything,
no,
Phoenix is all. I do feel like we're gonna repeat Darth Vader versus Obito again, where they're both so similar in speed and power that it really is kind of pointless to try and compare them.
Yeah,
so it is gonna come down to the hacks and the amount of bag of tricks they have.
Yeah, which is kind of a problem because I don't know their more so on Phoenix's behalf. I don't know what their resistances are.
No, me neither. Because the Phoenix is stupidly cartoonishly powerful. Legitimately, it is so powerful that the only consistent person who can contain it and use its full power is Jean Grey. Anybody else, any other any other psychic level mutant that even remotely tries to contain it, they die because it's just too much for them. Because that's the whole, and that's partially why every time the Phoenix comes back, it always goes after Jean Grey. It's not like the symbiote, where anybody can just have a symbiote and be powerful. Like,
Yeah.
the Phoenix Force is, it's broken. It's even been able to go toe to toe with it's even been able to go toe to toe with Professor Xavier, who is one of the strongest psychics in the X-Men universe.
Yeah.
So I would say that based off all of that, I wouldn't put it past them to say that the Phoenix Force itself would operate on a universal level of power.
Yeah, but then you throw Trigon into the mix, and then it's like, oh well, okay.
Yeah, that just counters it. That's just
Yeah.
it counters it out. So I don't know, because again, my thing is, if I were to just pick one, if I were to pick Raven, I don't know if I could be confident in that, because the question is, does Raven have to kill Jean Grey in order to win this fight, or does she have to kill both Jean Grey and the Phoenix?
Yeah. That is a good question.
Because, I mean, this could potentially be a Rhino versus He-Man situation where, okay, He-Man can obviously kill the person, but the actual malevolent force, that's going to be difficult, but it can be done. But I don't know if Raven is that powerful enough to destroy the Phoenix Force.
Right. And okay. I guess we can look into some of Raven's resistances. Okay. Mind manipulation, that's good. I'm pretty sure Phoenix has that. Soul manipulation and possession, okay. Matter manipulation, power nullification, that's okay. That's big. BFR, okay, so no BFR, cool. Time slowing, that's good because Phoenix has that too. Yeah, a lot of Raven's resistances I'm seeing are abilities that Phoenix possesses. But at the same time, I don't know what Phoenix. At the same time, though, I don't know what Phoenix's resistances are. Hold on, I saw a vlog get referenced. Hold on, let me see if there's anything in there. I hate using Microsoft Edge so goddamn much.
Shit.
What?
God dang it. Okay, so I'm looking into the Phoenix stuff. The Phoenix has something called the White Hot Room.
I've heard something about this.
Yeah, so the White Hot Room is essentially a little pocket dimension area where whoever is the host of the Phoenix, they can go to and heal critical wounds, it looks like.
Okay.
Oh.
That's interesting, because there's a similar thing for Raven. Yeah, Raven can teleport. Well, I don't know about healing, but Raven can teleport herself and others into a dimension called the Nexus of all dimensions.
Yeah.
Where she's at her most powerful. My mind kind of goes to harkening back to Flash vs. Quicksilver, where Barry brings Quicksilver into the Speed Force. Okay, I'm seeing some of Phoenix's resistances.
Yeah, because I'm reading more into it. Also, too, people can be Rachel and Psylocke, Betsy Bedrock, they were both transported to the White Hot Room, and the WHR was able to protect them from the Chaos Wave, which is and it's apparent. And the Chaos Wave was reaching to the farthest parts of the multiverse.
Oh, great. Okay, so let's see. Mind manipulation. So any, I don't know if does Raven have? Yeah, she does. Okay.
Yeah, she has mind manipulation.
Okay, so then that's out. So both of them have mind manipulation, and both of them, and neither of them can work. Great, cool.
Cool.
Soul manipulation. Okay, that sounds familiar. I don't know if Raven has that. She does. Okay, cool. That's out too. She is affected by transmutation.
So Raven or Jean?
Jean. Does Raven have transmutation?
I don't know, but I'm just trying to...
I think so. I don't know. I wouldn't put it past her.
I'm just trying to think of like things adjacent.
I
I'm
guess
trying to
matter.
get, like, Phoenix stuff as well.
I guess matter manipulation maybe. That might count. I don't know. I'll come back to that. Power nullification. So no power siphoning. That's actually no. That's for Phoenix. Okay. That's not for Jean. That's for. Apparently, Jean is pretty affected by it. Wow, this is weird. Okay. Energy absorption, so no energy absorption.
Oh, wait, the Phoenix Force also has energy manipulation, absorption, life manipulation, and also matter manipulation at a subatomic level.
Okay, all of those. Okay, name those again. Okay, what was the first one?
The first one was energy manipulation and absorption.
Okay, Raven resists power nullification. What was the second one?
And then life manipulation.
Does soul manipulation count? Because Raven resists that. But I got.
Hold on. Life manipulation is the ability to manipulate the life force that courses inside living beings or the very concept of life itself.
I guess I'm gonna go with no. So that could that's a valid win condition. What was the other one? Was it matter manipulation?
The other one, yes, matter manipulation at the subatomic level.
All right, Raven resists that too.
Let's see. It has time manipulation, spiritual manipulation.
Oh, there's the soul one. That Raven resists both of those.
Let me see. Yeah, telekinesis, teleportation, portal proliferation.
Hope together are able to successfully erase. Okay, so existence erasure could be a thing.
Okay, well here's the thing. Okay, so here's the biggest trump card that I can find for the Phoenix Force. It is immortal and it cannot die.
Okay.
And if it does die, the WHR can resurrect it at any time.
That's true. I have heard that. Well, Raven does not have. Okay, I'm trying to look at like I have a list of Phoenix's resistances and vulnerabilities. I'm trying to see if Raven has them as well, like especially the vulnerabilities, because existence erasure is a vulnerability. Like Wanda and Hope were able to erase the Phoenix Force. So like if Raven had existence erasure, then that could be that, but I don't see it. BFR, if Raven has BFR, that could be something. I guess the Nexus of all dimensions. I guess Raven could like take Jean there and leave her there. I don't know why she'd do that, but it's a viable win condition, I guess.
The Phoenix Force also has cosmic. The Phoenix Force also can stop time, and it has time travel. It has precognition, cosmic. Yeah, it has cosmic and cosmic awareness and enhanced senses.
Okay.
Raven it also has it. The Phoenix Force also has transmutation.
What?
Okay. That could be a valid win condition. The time thing, Raven is unaffected by
I'm trying.
something that slows down their perception of time. So basically, Raven resists time slowing.
The Phoenix Force also has. The Phoenix Force also has biological manipulation, and age manipulation, and
age manipulation might be something.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'm looking at Raven's resistances now. Mind manipulation, soul manipulation, matter manipulation, biological manipulation. Rella says Raven can't get sick, so that's interesting. Power multiplication and removal. You know, online is working. I'm not offline, so screw you, docs. Okay. I think.
Alright.
I think I'm seeing more win conditions for Jean. More specific. I guess more specifically for Phoenix.
For what?
For Jean.
Yeah, because the biggest one. Because okay, going back to the WHR, Doctor Doom confirmed that it was a realm that exists outside the cosmos and at the heart of it at the same time. So essentially, the HR, the white, the WHR is basically bullshit, and it sounds like that is its biggest win condition. Because even if Raven, even if Raven is able to kill Jean Grey and destroy the Phoenix Force, they can go to the host and the Phoenix Force can go to the white hot room, and it can regenerate and heal itself. And the Phoenix Force is constantly always immortal because it can't ever be destroyed. It seems like it can only be removed for a certain time.
I forget. Does Phoenix resist power? Like, does Phoenix resist having her?
I don't.
Does Phoenix resist having her powers removed?
I don't.
Doesn't seem like it.
It does seem like it, yeah.
So if Raven could
because
this is a juggling act I'm doing right now. I guess if Raven found a way to contain the Phoenix Force or seal it away, maybe that could be something. Never mind, Maya was able to break free from psionic restraints. Never mind. All right.
So it sounds like it does sound like.
Oh, I'm not confident in this at all.
I mean, I do. I mean, it does sound like Raven stands a better chance than she did 5 years ago. But again, there is the problem. How is she going to destroy Jean Grey and the Phoenix Force if Jean Grey and the Phoenix Force have a way to just get around that?
Yeah.
Especially when this damn thing is literally, it exists outside the cosmos and inside the... It exists outside and inside the cosmos at the same damn time. I think that's a level of broken bullshit that I don't think Raven has an answer to.
Who on this blog I found, by the way? Raven. Okay. Interesting. Maybe I need to give this thing a read.
Yeah.
I'm almost tempted to go with I'm almost tempted to just say underdog victory, go Raven, but I don't know.
Yeah.
ZDogg, what do you think?
At the moment, I think I'm leaning towards Phoenix. as a current thought. Like, it doesn't sound like it's gonna be extremely difficult for both sides to win. It's just, yeah, it just sounds like Phoenix, and like for what I'm trying to scrounge up myself, it just looks like Phoenix is just too damn hard to put down for good.
Yeah, because again, the biggest question is: does Raven have the power to destroy? Does Raven have the power to destroy or interfere with the white hot room?
Yeah, because like it sounds like it basically sounds like they're dead even or counter each other power wise. Or like abilities wise. It's just
and they're almost and they almost counter each other in terms of attacks, but it does seem like Phoenix has a little bit more.
Yeah, sorry, I'm just trying to take everything in because I'm very unsure right now.
Yeah, I'm unsure.
I am too.
I could say like I think I'll vote for this character, but then I'm like, wait, no, hold on.
So
I do. I just.
Yeah.
I think Phoenix has this. Like, I think that the white hot room bullshit, I think that just edges it out enough to where to where the Phoenix can literally just say no to death. It can keep coming back. Unless
even then, it just sounds like, even beside the white hat room, it sounds like Phoenix is just nigh impossible to put down based on everything you said.
Yeah, because I mean, the best Raven could do is maybe trap the Phoenix Force, but the Phoenix Force could just escape it. I don't know. We gotta pick somebody.
Yeah, we do. That's what.
Fuck it. I'm gonna assume we're still going on the Marvel versus DC losing streak for DC. So give me the Phoenix.
Yeah. With everything said, I think I am gonna go with Phoenix. I mean, I'm not counting Raven out. I do still believe. I mean, I still think Raven could have a chance of winning. It's just with everything said.
I mean, the best. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
It just with everything it said, it just sounds like it's more in Phoenix's favor.
So the best Raven could do is kill the host of the Phoenix. But the Phoenix itself can just reanimate and heal the host wounds and take it to that dimension. So it sounds like the White Hot Room offers even more benefits than what was Raven's realm called again?
The Nexus of all dimensions.
Oh, okay, the Nexus. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll just call it the Nexus. Raven does have more soul-related abilities.
Yeah.
So like, if it comes down to like, screwing with their souls, then Raven has the edge there.
Yeah.
She's also got apparently she's got better training and experience, so that's pretty cool.
That yeah.
That's it.
Man, I wish I had access to this blog before we started, because this one here that I found, I don't remember who made it, but this one here is going for Raven.
Okay.
Hmm.
Dimensional teleportation would prevent her from being trapped in the white hot room. Okay.
Oh.
Wait, what? What was that?
Apparently, Raven has dimensional teleportation, which is like, okay, cool.
Mhm.
But it, it says that it could prevent her from being trapped in the white hot room.
That is good. But does the Phoenix have that?
I don't know.
Let me see.
Could likely escape into the white hot room in the event that she is pressured or BFR'd. So basically, neither of them are gonna like send each other to their outside dimensions and just leave them there.
Right.
So neither can win through BFR, so that's good.
Yeah.
Okay.
But unlike the Phoenix, if Raven is killed, she doesn't. Her dimension can't just take her, pluck her up, and heal her.
I'm trying to see if there's anything to mention.
I mean, and again, it's like, I don't want to make it sound like the Phoenix Force can't be destroyed. It can. It has been destroyed, but but the white hot room just brings it back every time.
Though she can likely damage Raven's soul self with her fire and telekinesis, Raven's ability to survive and regenerate from her soul being shattered suggests that simply damaging it is not enough to put her down. Okay.
Hmm.
Its own ability to be reborn via the white hot room would not include Jean and takes too long to affect the fight. Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, it
What's
takes...
that?
I'm reading the verdict of this. The Phoenix Force can keep Jean alive through nearly any level of physical damage, but the human soul is beyond its capacity to heal. Its own ability to be reborn via the white hot room would not include Jean and takes too long to affect the fight.
Okay.
I didn't realize it took a while, so that's interesting.
Well, then in that case...
I mean...
So if it takes a while... Okay, so... If Raven kills Jean, then Jean can't immediately be brought back.
Right, but she'd still have to deal with the Phoenix Force.
Yeah.
But I guess if
mean,
she
that's
could,
the
like...
main thing.
I'm trying to think if Raven has a way to deal with the Phoenix Force, then that could probably sway me to Raven.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. But it's like, would Raven be able to kill Jean Grey? Who would be more likely to kill who first?
I still think, just based on everything, it sounds like Phoenix is still going to be able to kill Raven first, based on everything. At least in my opinion.
No, you're right. Because, again, I have no doubt in my mind that Raven can kill Jean Grey.
Oh, of course.
Could
Probably
Raven
too.
like absorb the Phoenix Force?
I mean, I think Emma. Well, let me see. Because I know Emma Stone. I'm sorry, Emma Frost. I know Emma Frost. I'll just call her Frost. I know Frost tried to do that, but she couldn't contain it, and it basically just. Okay, let me see. Superhuman, energy manipulation, absorption, life manipulation, fire, weather, time. spiritual manipulation. I'm sorry. Spatial manipulation.
Okay. Raven can resist Trigon's corruption, which is comparable to the Phoenix's. She would have no issue forcing the Phoenix Force into herself and gaining all its power with few of the drawbacks. So if Raven takes the Phoenix Force from Jean and makes it her own, wait, that's big.
Yeah, that actually, that's what I was wondering too. 'Cause that was my question. Could Raven contain the Phoenix Force and take it?
Well, she can resist. If she can resist Trigon, then
she could resist the Phoenix Force. Yeah.
But
then at that point,
does Jean Grey have
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, does Jean Grey having emotional manipulation to affect that? Or she wouldn't want to take it? Or would it be too much for her to take it?
Again,
Phoenix Force?
she's been able to fight off Trigon and his influence tons and tons of times. So I would imagine she would be able to handle the Phoenix Force. Because the Phoenix Force is on the level... Because it is no stretch to say that the Phoenix Force is on the level of power as Trigon.
Well, here's the thing. If Raven takes the Phoenix Force and adds it to her own, then she now has all the Phoenix Force's powers, while Jean Grey is Jean Grey.
Yeah, Jean Grey is still okay. Jean Grey's base powers are basically she's a psychic mutant.
Yeah.
So she has normal psychic powers. So that is big.
I think I'm gonna go with Raven.
Okay, now that you mention that,
Why you?
I'll go with Raven. Because that's my question. Can Raven kill Jean Grey and contain the Phoenix Force? Because that is still a win. Because are they gonna count? Are they gonna count the Phoenix as its own individual thing, like Nightmare?
Probably.
Well then, okay, then. I'm going with Raven.
I'm gonna go with Raven.
This is tricky. I'm gonna stick with my guns. I'm still gonna stick with Phoenix.
Alright.
Even though that's really big.
For your sake, ZDogg, I hope.
I don't know.
Part of me kind of hopes that I've been actually trying to think of who do I want to win, because I
do want Raven to win. I like her more.
Because on one hand, I don't really know who I like more, but on one hand, I want Phoenix to win because I want this Marvel win streak to continue. I want Marvel to continue. Because here's the thing: if Raven wins, then Marvel and DC are tied again.
Yep.
Interesting.
And I kind of want Marvel to continue it, but at the same time, I also want Raven to win because imagine how much of an underdog play that is. So many people are saying that Phoenix absolutely wrecks Raven. So.
Which I don't think that's because I think this seems extremely close and debatable.
Yeah.
It seems like this is going to be a repeat of Vader versus Obito in terms of that because Vader was very much the obvious to win and Obito was the underdog. So I love Raven more as a character, and so I'm sticking with my guns. Sorry for interrupting. I'm sticking with my guns. I think I'm still gonna go Phoenix, but I'm not gonna be surprised if Raven wins. Yeah, no, because again, my whole thing was because I didn't know that the white hot room wasn't instantaneous. I thought if Raven just killed Twilight, I'm sorry. I thought if Raven just killed Jean, and the Phoenix, that it would be able to just go to the white hot room immediately and then regenerate. But now, no, it's like, oh no, it's not instantaneous. It takes time.
Well, not only that, but it doesn't bring back Jean.
No, it only brings back the Phoenix Force.
Oh, well, would that count as... Hold up.
That would count as a win, yes. Yes, that would absolutely count. Because again, I feel like, okay,
no.
The other thing too is Jean can die. Jean herself can be killed in the Phoenix Force. She's been killed time and time again. So it's not like she's immortal. She can die. But the Phoenix Force can stay immortal when it goes into the white hot room, and it'll come back and it'll just start all over again. So the best way for Raven to get rid of it, my thing, is she would have to absorb the Phoenix Force and have that power as her own.
Alright. But it's Jean Grey, it's not the entire Phoenix Force. I don't know how that would count their Death Battles of Rules.
No, like, Raven would have to deal with the Phoenix Force in order to win.
Yeah, and if her best trump card, because again, that was my thing. I don't think Raven can destroy the Phoenix Force because the Phoenix Force will always just keep coming back. So instead of trying to destroy it, Raven can do the next best thing that she obviously can do. She can contain it and absorb it, because see, that's the thing. I also think maybe the Phoenix Force would go into Raven because the Phoenix Force chooses the strongest person to go into to host it. And Raven is just as strong as Jean Grey and as base Jean Grey. In fact, Raven is stronger than base Jean Grey, because that's the thing. Jean Grey needs the Phoenix Force to get the powers that she has. You take away the Phoenix Force, Jean Grey is just Jean Grey.
So then if you can absorb it, you know,
if Raven, if what, and this is all assuming that any of this is like that still holds up. I don't know how updated this blog is as well. So
yeah,
the way I see it, if this holds up, the way I see it is that Raven could could take the Phoenix Force out of Jean,
yes,
absorb it into her own. Basically, now Raven is the host of the Phoenix Force. So it's her own power plus the Phoenix Force versus regular old Jean Grey. Now, don't get me wrong, regular old Jean Grey is still gonna would still kick butt and take names, but
the Phoenix Force is her trump card. So it is, and again, I know Raven can absorb powerful things like that. She's done it before. Again, she's constantly absorbed Trigon's essence inside, and she keeps Trigon inside of her and keeping him from trying to get out and cause destruction. So if she can handle Trigon, then the Phoenix Force really wouldn't be no different. Because even in an episode where Beast Boy and Cyborg go into Raven's mirror, they think it's just a mirror, but the mirror is a portal to Raven's mind that hosts her other personalities, including Trigon himself. And she is able to absorb Trigon back into her in her mind to keep him from getting out. So she absolutely can do that to the Phoenix Force. She can just absorb the Phoenix Force out of Jean Grey into her. And Brobuscus is right. You add Raven's base powers with Trigon's, and now the Phoenix Force. She's literally 3 times more powerful than base Jean Grey. And again, they're pretty much dead even in terms of power set and speed, because they can both do the same thing.
Alright. I need to wrap this up.
I'm not confident, but I'm going with Raven.
Yeah, I'm sticking with Raven.
You know what? I think it's close. I think both sides could win, but I think after this, I think I am siding with Raven.
All right.
Clean sweep.
gosh, this is hard. I'm not gonna be surprised if Phoenix wins.
No,
but
I'm
not.
I could easily see. I
We
could.
could be.
I could easily be convinced that the Phoenix to win. Like easily.
Just.
But I need something big to convince me. Because again, the white hot room, that was the biggest thing I was using to stick with Phoenix. But now knowing that, oh no, it's not instantaneous and it can't bring back the host. It can only bring back the Phoenix Force itself.
Yeah,
Then there you go. Jean Grey.
Well, I mean, okay, bringing back just the Phoenix Force is still huge.
It is.
Yeah.
Like again, Raven needs to deal with the Phoenix Force in order to win. I don't think just taking out Jean Grey is going to be enough.
No. But I'm just saying
if
she can take out Jean Grey.
But the point I'm trying to make is if the white hot room if the white hot room was instantaneous, then we'd be back to square one.
I'd be back. But
in fact, actually, I'm gonna say it. If the white hot room was instantaneous, I'd probably say Phoenix.
Same.
Yeah.
Same.
But if it's not,
That's the.
I'm gonna double confirm if it is or isn't, because I'm pretty sure now. Because it's not like the blog is gaslighting us.
Oh no.
Well, that and the blog I used, I don't know how old it is. It's not the one we're working on right now.
That's fair, but again, I will double confirm whether or not the white room is instantaneous or not. But my gut feeling is saying no, because and again, even if it is instantaneous, let's hypothetically say it is instantaneous. I'm willing to bet it's only for the Phoenix Force itself and not the host.
No, makes sense. Alright, well,
Wait.
let's confirm.
Yeah, so, okay.
I say you confirm that, and then...
Yeah. I will. No, I'll go to my source. Shit. I'll go to my sources, and I'll let y'all know. But, so, yeah. Since we're... What? Why?
I'm reading through more of the blog we're working on, and I'm back to
Oh gosh, we're never gonna make.
Okay, you know what? Screw this blog. Go Raven. Go Raven.
Yeah.
Screw the blog. Screw looking into this any further. My vote's on Raven. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong.
I don't care.
I am perfectly content with either of these two winning. I
prefer if Raven won, but yeah.
I'm honestly just very curious who Deathwell is gonna have win, because I just sounds like a clusterfuck, and I'm very like an interesting cluster.
I mean,
an interesting one, granted. It's just
we're all going to reconfirm with each other. We're all going to reconfirm with each other if we're confident enough to stick to our votes by Saturday anyway. So, I mean,
yeah, but for our competition's sake, our votes are in. So
fair enough. But again, we went back and forth, so it's not as if we were. It's not as if we were confident from the beginning.
No. No.
So I'm just saying, in case the competition decides to get all technical on us, we were not confident on who the fuck we were going with. We were literally going back and forth.
Yeah. Now I'm curious who the lads actually had won this. But
I think the lads are probably going to go with Phoenix.
I know, but I don't know if I should say.
Don't say it on recording, because you should go watch the lads. Haha.
Yeah, I'm not. Okay, on recording, I'm not going to say.
We need to end this.
Yeah, we need to end this.
Okay. Yeah, we do. I'm hungry, damn it.
Yeah, so am I, actually. All right, so thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed Vader versus Obito. If you didn't, I'm very sorry to hear that. And hope you're excited for Phoenix versus Raven. Honestly, I mean, for the purposes of I've been stressing about it because we have to pick someone, but the fact that we're not confident at all has made me even more interested in this match. So
honestly, absolutely. So again, Please,
So
I hope Raven wins, but either way, it's a win-win for me.
yeah. So hope you're excited for that. And yeah, we didn't have a third topic, so I don't have a question to ask the audience. But
Nope. Yep. Because we're behind as is, and we need to catch up. So, no.
Yeah.
So
But
yeah. So we're gonna go ahead and wrap this up. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and we will talk to you all in the next video. Bye bye.
Bye.
see ya.